and injured over 70 others, Joseph Eckerson reports.
The missile struck a residential area and playground, marking the deadliest attack involving children.
China has accused the United States of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying following the Trump administration's imposition of tariffs. President Donald Trump announced the resumption of direct nuclear talks with Iran, cautioning Tehran of severe consequences if negotiations fail.
This occurred during a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who pledged to swiftly eliminate Israel's trade deficit with the U.S.
Inmates at San Quentin State Prison experienced emotional reunions with service dogs they had raised as part of a rehabilitation program. Lawrence Keller with the latest.
The initiative, launched in April 2023 by Canine Companions, pairs incarcerated individuals with puppies for 16 months.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
Puppies.
Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
We're all going to be puppies.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
Oh, no. We cannot get them coffee here. Coffee is closing. That's coffee down.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Like this. This is what we gotta do.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
That's what I had.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
The laughing will be had today, Wednesday, and that's not a good day to laugh. What kind of lie is that? Good morning, I guess. It is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Somebody turned the clock back to winter. 31 degrees out here on Long, which is why I'm kind of bundled up here. In this room, there's no heat in this room. This used to be a garage attached to the house, and there was never any baseboard heating. And I have a little portable heater I could have turned on if I thought about it, but I didn't think about it. So I just threw on a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to end up stripping eventually because it will get warm. It's not going to get springtime warm today. It's only going to get up to about 40 degrees. It's April 9th, and I'm already complaining about the weather and how cold it is. Anyway, yesterday, GD hosted the program with the proprietor of Spark TV on. I did not listen yet. I will listen. I promise. I will watch the program and listen, learn about Spark TV. We're coming down to the end of the world, and this is not how I imagine the end of the world happening, with me doing a dopey little morning show with just GD, because now Ron is going to be gone. Steven's going to be gone. Everybody has left us. The views are going down. The watch hours are going down. Everything is going down. I'm going down. I'm going down, down, down. It's the end of the world. And then the economy is in the tank. And it hasn't really hit home yet. But it's going to. Believe me, it's going to. Yesterday, jury duty, Zoom jury duty meeting, and jury duty. I don't know what it is. What I learned about jury duty is people suck. I hate people, but I kind of knew that going in. But man, there was one guy on the jury. His name was Abe, old Jewish fella, and I liked him. And it occurred to me, I know why people think I'm an old Jew, because I think exactly like Abe. You can't tell me and Abe apart. Really, personality-wise. He even had the glasses and the scrubble, and he had my hat, and he had a Long Island Jewish accent like I have, which I don't come by naturally, I guess. Anyway, he was the only one agreeing with me. The other people on the jury, it was a civil case that had already, the fault had already been decided in the civil case, and we were just there to decide on the amount of the reward or award or whatever you call it. They were negotiating. And Abe and I just wanted to give the plaintiff money for the damages that he incurred. The other 10 people on the jury wanted to give him life-changing money, as if a lawsuit is about winning the lottery. And I think this is the problem. And they keep coming back to, well, that kind of money is not life-changing money. It's not supposed to be life-changing money. It's supposed to put your life back on track to where it was before the accident happened. And let me just tell you, I'm not supposed to share any of the details, and I'm going to try really hard, although I'm a blabbermouth. The person, I almost put out a detail I shouldn't put out there already. The person had minimal damage, scars, a scar above one eye, and a discoloration below one lip on the corner, and a little scar on his knee. And they were asking for millions of dollars. Millions. And I'm like, no. Oh, well, we're supposed to, the pain and suffering, not even the medical costs of even getting plastic surgery, that's covered by insurance. That's not part of it. This is the award just for the person. The person spent 3 days in the hospital and then got back to his or her life on track with a couple of bruises. I got scars. You got scars. Everybody's got scars. Millions of dollars. And while I understand how we got to this mentality of, oh, I got hurt, now lawsuit, I never want to work again. I'm just going to sue. It's not the guy who's paying, it's his insurance company, and what difference? And everybody wants to change their life for the better because of a little bump and a bruise. I'm sorry. I was not budging on this thing, and they wanted us to reach a consensus. And Abe and I got to get Abe's contact. I got to take Abe out for a drink. We were holding at like $150,000 should be fine for your little bruises. But no, some people wanted to give tens of millions of dollars. Tens of millions of dollars. It's mind-boggling. And because they were angry. Now, I want to say the accident was one that would make you angry. If you saw, and they showed videotape of the accident happening, and you would say the defendant, what the fuck? That's basically what the fuck. And we were angry. But the jury instruction said you can't take your anger at the defendant into account. This is just about compensating the plaintiff for pain and suffering. Wasn't, again, I am not exaggerating when I say a little scar up here, little discoloration here, and a knee that was banged up, but not bad. 3 days and 3 days in the hospital were just precautionary. Could have gone home that day. Really could have gone home that day. And back to life as usual within a very short time. Tens of millions of dollars. This is why the legal system, this is why people hate lawyers. They're all ambulance chasers and just looking for big paydays. Now, I don't know how lawyers get paid for that, but I think they're going to go for like, whatever, a third of the settlement or something like that. So, of course, the lawyers want to bang it up to tens of millions of dollars. It's just disgusting. Just disgusting, I tell you. Anyway, we have no guests today. We're never going to have a guest again. That's not true. We have one tomorrow and 2 on Friday. So I already lied to you. I'm making a habit out of lying to you very early to get things started. Another lie I want to tell you right now is the THCA is good. No, it's not. I just lied again. THC is fake weed. It's harsh. You can smoke the leaves off your lawn. But everybody is selling. Now, I'm seeing, if it were any good, would this be the case? People are selling $40 ounces online. THCA, buy it, it'll be in the mail and you'll get it the next day. If it were any good, you think they'd be charging $40 an ounce? The real weed goes for $40 an eighth or more, $50 an eighth if it's the white weed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing ads for this crap all over the place. And they say, well, it's really THC, but it's not THC until you light it. That's how what the fuck does that mean? Until you light it. Oh, the A goes away the minute. No, it turns into fucking lawn grass the minute you light it. It's shitty. And they say, well, it's a clear-minded high. Who wants a fucking clear-minded high? I want to be confused as shit. I want to be dazed and confused. That's what I want in my THC. Keep your A, because the A stands for ass. You're an ass if you buy it. Who's in the chat room telling me I'm wrong about this? You mean crack? Oh, no, the white weed? No, I don't mean crack. Good morning, Stephen. That's Stephen Ortiz telling me I mean crack. No, I don't mean crack. I don't mean crack. Anyway, what I do mean is don't fall for the THCA stuff. We got enough problems in the world with one of these guys, one of Trump's lackeys on Fox, Kevin something, one of these I don't know, TV pundits calling for 400% tariffs on China. Eventually, by sometime in May, we'll be up to like 1,000,000% tariffs. This is going to we raise on you, we raise on you, we raise. It's like a poker game. I raise you. Stop raising. It will hit home soon. In the meantime, get yourself some good weed and get a good. I need a new pipe. I broke my hash pipe. So I'm going to go to Daily High Club and get some accessories. Maybe a bong.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Ron, I'm suing your fucking ass, Kane, and GD. I want millions of dollars for a minor inconvenience, Fenderson. Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. The end is near. Well, the end is going to be near. You'll know it when you see coffee drinkers can't buy coffee anymore, and they'll take to the streets. Gotta have my coffee. My fucking coffee. Need my fucking coffee.
Look at me. I need to be brightened up.
And of course, that's not the worst part. Where do they find out that Viagra is also an import?
Wow.
In the world, yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Most of Viagra is made overseas. A very small amount is made here. Now,
Well,
Cialis is a different story. That's most of that's made in Puerto Rico, but the parts and pieces come from India.
wow, I did not know any CDC, a boner pill expert on the program. Now, I will tell you this about Viagra. I tried it a couple of times, and it gives me heartburn like I'm gonna die. No Viagra. I panic. And it doesn't affect my dick at all. My dick's still like is like, we're still limp. Um, well,
Motherfucker!
exactly. You know, maybe I should sue. I should sue for hundreds of millions of dollars because it gives me heartburn. Right? That's what I should do. You heard my little rant about the legal system there. Now I'm serious. Like I can't give away all the details here. I can't even. But a little bruise over the eye, a little discoloration under the lip, and a scar on the knee. What's that worth?
$350.
Huh?
350,000. 350.
That's generous in my. But I was on somewhere between 150 to 2, and Abe was at no more than 2, and everybody else tens of millions of dollars.
Well, I only picked 350 because my wife likes the way it sounds.
Oh.
She does. She laughs. If I say 350, she laughs.
So what if you say 150? Because that's what the.
She won't laugh.
Really?
It's because there's a South Park episode that involves the Loch Ness monster, and 350 comes up a lot in that episode, and it's Chef's family, Chef's father and Chef's mother, and they're just hilarious characters, you know. And so that's what it's. So when I say 350, my wife instantly goes to the episode, and it's funny to her. She remembers the whole episode.
You know, I'm dying to talk about the actual details of the case. You know I am. Yeah, because I'm a they showed us a video of the accident, and I will say the video was fucking jarring. It was like, oh my god, but the results of it weren't that bad, and the idea that this thing should be life-changing money just is what encourages people just to sue like crazy. If this person gets $10 million or whatever they were asking for, then the next person going to say, as soon as I get a hangnail, I'm going to sue. And then it becomes an epidemic. We'll just sue crazy. And that's why we have ambulance chases.
So what did the person who caused the accident do to prevent that accident from happening again?
What did the person who caused the accident do?
Yeah, because you said it was an accident.
Nothing.
Finish inside me.
You know, I want to be a blabbermouth, and I'm going to get myself in trouble. The person was working for another company as a driver, and they hit somebody. They stopped at a light. Not a light, a stop sign. And the other person started walking across the road, and the person was right in front of them, and they hit him. Boom, like drove right into him. Like, what the fuck were you looking at? The person went flying 15 feet, landed on the pavement, got a concussion and cut up a little bit, taken to the hospital. The driver was fired, obviously, and now the company that hired that driver was the one being sued, and they're the ones paying the money. And so they think, well, it's just the insurance company for that company's. And so that's most of these people on the jury wanted to punish the company. You got to hire better and all this stuff, but it wasn't about punitive damages. This was just about pain and suffering. And I kept saying that if you want to punish these people, that's a whole different thing. And maybe there's a case to be made there that these people should lose their business. But that's not what we're asked to do. We're asked to give compensation for pain and suffering. The pain and suffering was 3 days in the hospital, which could have been 1 hour in the hospital, except they were being cautious because of the concussion. But then they went back to their life, and they have a little bruise that can easily be fixed with plastic surgery in nowadays, or just go away over time. So
what if you grow a mustache and beard?
Yeah, on your knee.
Well, yeah. Well, that on the knee. Well,
but like, the scar on my knee is going to cause like. Don't wear shorts, but I mean, it wasn't like a disfigurement. It didn't lose a leg. It's a bruise, a scar, a little color. It added a little color. You wouldn't even notice it on you. I'm serious. It was just a little color.
So if it happened on me, I'd be shit out of luck. I wouldn't even get the 350.
You wouldn't get the 150 that they were. The defense was offering 150. 150, and I thought that was more than because before they even came up with the numbers, they asked the jury what.
So the hospital bills were all paid.
I said 50,000 would have been fine, and here's the deal: 150,000. They say, well, 150,000 isn't life-changing money. It definitely. If I gave you $150,000 today, would it change your life?
Sure, not permanently, but yeah.
Yeah, of course it would. You pay
off. It would get me through. It would get me through the first 20 days of Trump's tariff.
It would get you through 7 billion pounds of THCA.
Well, I'm not a THCA person.
I know.
I'm more like a YMCA person.
Ron is, when he was on the road, he was buying that fake weed, right? In Texas or something, you were buying that fake THCA.
Yeah, San Antonio, they had that THCA shit.
Give me your honest criticism or critique of THCA. Is it real weed?
No, it's sort of close. I got, like, when I smoked it, I got we got like a little high, but we were also drinking.
Right.
So
you'd probably get just as high smoking the grass on your lawn, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it's not like a regular high. It's just like it lifts you up a little. That's about it.
Well, and they claim that
which is the better high, sniffing glue out of a bag or that THCA?
I got it.
Well, I've never been a glue sniffer, so I don't know.
Magic markers, elementary school of magic markers or THCA?
The THCA.
Damn.
And I think
I bought those magic markers for nothing.
They claim that as a perk, as you get kind of elevated, but you don't get a foggy. That's the point. I want to get the foggy high. I want to be confused. I want to be stupid. Let's get stupid is my motto.
But I can also use weed to like focus too, because it helps me like really mine ideas.
You bet. I don't know if I give any credence to the sativa or indica stuff, but there is weed that will definitely help me get in the mood for creating, for writing music, for painting, whatever. You get the right strain, you could be up all night doing stuff. And
one of the things I like to do is I have a notepad and I put it here on the kitchen table with a pen, and I'll go do dishes and I'll get really high, and I'll go do dishes, and it's nice. It's like very like meditative, and no one's bothering me, and the water is nice and hot, so it like burns my hands somewhat.
Yeah, I dig it. I'm into it. I'm coming over Ron's house tonight to go do dishes.
It's the oddest thing, but it really helps because I like I said, write ideas down, or I listen to sets sometimes when I do it.
Yeah,
listen to sex. You mean, how does that work? You go to your neighbor's house and got your glass and up against the wall. It's like, gone, Bill. Give it to her, Bill. Yeah. Oh, I got a good joke out of this one.
Steven says, I like to smoke before sex, which explains why he's always around the junior high school copping weed. I listen to Ron Sex a lot to fall asleep. I listen to Ron Sex a lot. Ron Sex? All right, whatever.
And the weed that helps me relax is in my yard. When I'm doing gardening, it kind of clears my head when I'm pulling up those bull thistles and those dandelions. Kind of clears my head, and I get good ideas to write comedy. And I have a pen and paper right there in the yard where I write down stuff. Then I forget where I put it, and the wind blows it away. And
pen and paper.
It was Penn and Teller, but they are too expensive to keep around.
You don't just take out your iPhone and talk into the voice recorder thing or whatever phone you have. I don't know you have it.
No,
it just seems easier that way. No,
yeah, you don't use voice memos at all.
No, I write everything down. I guess it comes back from when I was an artiste, and I wrote out my poetry longhand, and everything was,
Oh no, I mean I write my stuff out, but like there's just like I like having the voice memos, especially like if you're trying to figure out like the cadence or however you want to say it. It's like you can capture it in that moment. Like, all right, I kind of want to go with this.
Very 1800. Do you use a quill?
Only to tickle my wife.
Well, our friend Josh DeWay, he writes everything out longhand first, then types it out. Like when he writes a script, he writes it all longhand, then he'll go back and type it.
Wow. I type my script out in longhand. Because my initial notes are, like I said, scribbled on paper, and then when I go to write and type it out, I stare at the wall and I imagine myself performing it, and whatever it is I say when I'm imagining it on stage is what I type at, and take dictation.
I'm seeing different comments on the live YouTube than in this. Oh, because he's in Facebook. That's why. All right, that makes sense. Anyway, part of the marketing thing is, first of all, they say the high is a clear high, but then they say it's real THC. It's just not THC until you light it, which makes no fucking sense.
No, it makes no sense. And
I guess it's like those little worms, those little snakes it's like a little cone. Yeah. And it's not a snake until you light it. And once you light it,
nobody knows what you're talking about unless they're 65 years or older.
Because they didn't light it. If they light it, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. They just haven't lit in it yet. They just see little cones.
They took us for retards, and they were right. When we were young, they would let us play with the stupidest things and tell us that was a toy or whatever. GD is talking about these little black things. They used to be called
hey.
And they were like pills, little black pills, and you just light them, and then the ashes would grow like a snake, and that would be entertaining for kids. And they would laugh as the house burnt down because playing with matches that they weren't supposed to play with, because we didn't have lighters in those days. And if you did, as a 5-year-old, have a lighter, the house would just burn down fast.
Yeah, those things were always terrible because it's such a letdown. It's like, oh, look. You light it, and it's a piece of dog shit on the floor.
Now, I'm actually, when y'all were kids, did y'all have like steel wool that you put on a hanger and you light it and spin it around for fireworks? The poor ghetto fireworks. Did you ever do that?
I never. No, I never. Even, wow.
No, we just did vandalism and lit fires inside of houses.
Yeah, before they made the steel wool with the soap in it, because that does not work at all. It had to be like straight up steel wool. You would light it, and once it got to like the red hot embers and stuff, you could spin it like this, and it would be just like a big pinwheel of fire and sparks, and it was just,
Wow, and this was before THCA. No wonder, because we were smoking the real THC, and that clouds your mind. Like, you want to get clouded. I want to get clouded.
Steven said use a 9-volt to light it. I don't know if he means the snake or the steel wool.
What the fuck is he talking about? 9-volt to light it.
He used to kick a can on the way to school. Oh,
yeah. Now people laugh at me when I test how do you test a 9-volt? Do you touch it to your tongue?
Or you can wet the tip of your penis.
See, I never thought of that, and I'm still not going to think of that. But, no, people be like, "What are you doing?" Like, that's how you test a 9-volt, man. If you're from the Stone Age, like I am, and the Stoned Age, not the Stone Age, touch it to my balls. Shouldn't you be going out diddling kids at Verizon or something?
Okay, how about this? Did y'all do this as a kid? Okay, we had I did this. I talked about the steel wool. The boat races. When it rained, we had the gutters in front of the house, and when it rained, we all would pick like sticks and stuff, and we'd have boat races down the gutter.
Yeah, all that.
That was the best. That was the best part of rain. You go out and you find a good stick, and I would take a metal bottle cap, like a soda top. And I would bend it like a canoe, and that would be my boat.
Fond memories of the boomer world.
It's so hard. You can't find a good curb to do that on anymore.
I remember when I was a kid, I broke off a plug and an outlet, And I was like, I don't know how to get this out. And so I went out to the kitchen and I got like I got a magnet, and it was like a chunk of magnet. And I grabbed that and I was like, all right, because I was a kid, I was like, I'll just use the magnet to pull the metal plug out. And so like I got the magnet near the outlet, and it just this arc happened. I was like, oh shit.
Again.
It was cool, but I was like, oh fuck, I can't do that.
General Mike is in the chat room. He says, now he's get him high, dog. He will remember, I think he'll remember, a friend of ours, Leo, my best friend Leo, was a radio guy. And he had an antenna on his roof, and he climbed up the antenna. He said, whatever you do, don't turn anything on in here. I'm going up. And it was raining out a little bit. He was up on top of the antenna that's on top of his garage. And I turned his radio on. And just at that moment, he got like a lightning bolt came down and struck him. He was up on the top of the antenna. He fell like 50 feet down to the garage. He goes, did you turn anything on? I didn't touch anything. Yeah.
You couldn't even man up and say, well, oops, my bad.
So I guess when you said don't touch anything, that's what you meant. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, kind of like you guys did, where like everything could hurt you. Like I remember our lawnmower. That was in the days when lawnmowers did not have safety shutoffs, or self-propelled or any of that shit. Yeah. So like when the mower was on, you don't get anywhere near that fucking point.
Right. And
how many friends do you have to actually? I had one friend that actually lost a toe from the lawnmower.
Every neighborhood had at least 3 guys.
Yeah, we actually I knew a kid who actually had his foot run over by a lawnmower.
I'm telling you, every neighborhood had 3 of them.
I know we had my friend of mine. They had a washing machine with the ringers. It had the 2 roller bars. So you take your clothes out to wash, you roll it through the roller bars, and the roller bars will squeeze all the water out, and then you get hanging up on the clothesline. So he stuck his arm in it on a dare, and up until the last time I saw him, he was in his late 20s. He still had that dent in his arm from when he was 4 or 5 or 6 years old, and he stuck his arm in the ringer. Yeah. It never went away.
And yard darts were always fun because that's when they actually had the metal tips on them.
Yeah.
You throw those fuckers up in the air and everyone would run.
Yeah. Now it's funny. We made up a game called baseball darts. And these are regular darts, regular darts. And what is the person would have like a 2x4, and the 2x4 was marked with like a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. And you stand in front of a telephone pole because that was the catcher. So if you missed, the dart would hit the telephone pole. And my friend Abram was standing at the telephone pole with the bat, and Peanut threw the dart, and Abram swung and missed, and we couldn't find the dart. And we're walking around, we're looking for the dart and looking for a dart. It's not in the pole. We're walking around the street. It took us 10 minutes. And then Abram felt the blood trickling down his leg. The dart had hit him right in the thigh. He never felt it go in. And the whole time we're looking for the dart, he had no idea it was in his leg.
And I bet you that dart was rusty too, wasn't it?
Oh, no. These are good, clean darts. Because these are my family darts.
We're not animals. We use clean.
That's right. I was the only kid in the neighborhood with actual darts. We had an actual dartboard in the basement.
Well, this is another reason you should never try LSD. When we were tripping one night and walking down the street, and it was like fall. And my friend Jimmy picked up a bag of leaves, and he was like hitting me with the leaves. And I took out my pocket knife and was stabbing the bag of leaves, and it was in front of his leg. And then he like, to trick me, he pulled the bag away, and then the knife went right in his knee, and it stuck there. Like deep into his knee, and he was laughing, and like I couldn't get the knife out of his knee. I was like putting my leg on his knee, doing that, and he was laughing all like because he was tripping. He didn't realize he just got stabbed like 3 inches deep in his patella. But
we have a predicament, fellas. Anne just got into the room. She said hi, and she said she apologizes for missing yesterday. What is her penance? What is her penance for missing yesterday's show?
I think she needs to sign up for Spark TV with 2Ks, right? That's what.
Yeah, 2Ks.
Then she can DM me and we'll talk.
Okay, and you have a choice of penances. You can sign up for Spark, SPARKK.TV. They have a lot of entertainment there, movies and independent film and stuff like that. Or you can DM Ron and he'll give you a penance. But if you like, I'm telling you now, you better do some research on Kama Sutra if you're going to DM Ron for your penance. I'm just saying.
Oh. Now, or you could sign up for jury duty.
I'm just saying that if you think your motorcycle could give you a good orgasm, wait till you DM Ron.
Have you guys ever done jury duty?
No, they won't. I was excluded because it was a gun trial, and
you're black, and they can't have black people on jury.
It was a black. No, well, it was a gun involved incident. And they asked how many people had been a victim or someone in their family a victim of gun violence. So I raised my hand, and they asked me about, so they take each person up sidebar, the judge and the prosecutor and the defense attorney. The three of them question you on sidebar. And they asked me what had happened, and I said, well, my uncle was killed in a robbery. And they said, did they catch who did it? And I said, well, everybody knew who did it, but there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute. So the guy went free, even though everybody knew who did it. And they said, and then they looked at me and they go, is that it? And I said, well, yeah. I said, well, my dog was shot. And then I started talking about when my dog got shot, and I started bawling like a child. My eyes.
So you wanted to get off the jury?
No, I wanted to stay on the jury. I wanted to be on the jury because I still thought, and to this day, I'm just passionate enough that I can listen to evidence and just, not have my experience affected my decision.
The passion of the jury surprised me. These people act like it. First of all, in the survey before you get accepted, they ask you things because this was about a car, a pedestrian getting hit by a car or by a mini school bus. But so they ask you if you've ever had anybody known or anybody in your family, friends, and who had a injury because of a car accident. And I said, of course, everybody, I did, and I think everybody did. But that wasn't reason for dismissal. But everybody came in with their own anecdotal. I had this happen. Oh, my family had this happen. It's like, what's the point of asking that question if you're just going to ignore the answer to it? Because obviously everybody's going to have a story about a car accident. So why even bother asking that shit? But then the amount of passion they put, like it's their money, like they're the ones going to get, and it's like it's their relative or somebody. Like, come on, man, this is fucking crazy. You people are acting like this is your money. And the idea that it should be life-changing money, just that bothers me. Like, you want to win the lottery because you got hit by a car? Is that the idea? Or you want just the life you had back? No. Maybe a couple of extra shillings I don't know, to get a lunch. But you know what? You shouldn't be looking to hit the jackpot every time something bad happens. Shit happens. Right? Yeah. Or do you disagree? You would think millions. Everybody should.
I told you 350.
Yeah, 250. Yeah.
350. That's it.
And me and Abe are on the same boat with that. But people didn't like us, and the anger, and the what ifs. Whoa, what if their life, they were going to become a movie star? What if they were going to get killed by somebody else that day, and the guy did him a favor and kept him from getting to the place where he was going to get shot?
Or what if he was going to go to Hollywood and get raped by Harvey Weinstein? He may have saved him from being butt-fucked by Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
Or Harvey Weinstein wannabe, which is even worse because a wannabe doesn't even have the clout yet.
I wish I would have had you there to bring that up, because I would say, if you want to play with the what if game, we could go down to what ifs all fucking day. Like, what if this? What if that? And
Yeah. What if he goes to Hollywood? And what if his first role is with Kevin Spacey? Then what?
Right.
Yeah.
Or Kevin Sorbo, even worse.
Yeah. Don't play what if with me, because I grew up thinking like a genie. I know all the bad things that can happen when you get your wishes granted.
Yeah. Now, I can share this much. The bus driver was found at fault, and he was. I mean, you hit somebody right in front of you. You're at a stop sign, and they start walking across, and then you just boom, like right into them. Like, what the fuck were you looking at? But the person didn't look both ways. They were just walking. Like, you know what? And I said, okay, he suffered some pain and suffering here, but he learned a valuable life lesson. I guarantee you he'll never get hit by a bus again. He'll look both ways next time.
I hit somebody with my work van, and this was in a Lowe's parking lot. And I actually saw the person. It was a short man. I saw him walk in front of my van, but he stopped in my blind spot. I had like a commercial vehicle, and the mirrors were fucking huge, because they had like the regular mirror, and then the convex mirror attached to it, and then it had like the big black V, because it used to be a wing. Remember the old vehicles where they had like a wing there, you could turn it out like that, glass? Well, instead of that glass, it was all solid black plastic. And that's where he stopped. He stopped right in that blind spot. And I didn't see him. I thought he'd moved on. And I drove and I ran over his foot. And I scraped, and the tire just scraped up his leg.
If you're listening, I can get you a good lawyer. We can get you two.
Oh, no, the police cleared me because he wasn't in the crosswalk.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought, and that's what they kept doing. Pedestrian always has the right of way.
And it was black on black. It was black on black. I mean, that probably helped also.
When I was a courier for the CIA, back in the 80s, in New York City, I'm coming to a light, and this black guy gets out in front of me. He stands in front of the van like he's going to block me. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I beat the horn at him, and he zips down, and he pulls out the biggest fucking long fucking rope of a cock I ever saw in my life. But it's soft, but it's 3 feet long. And he's not even erect. It's 3 feet long. And then he starts jerking this thing like it's a lasso.
The reason why most men are rough fuckers.
Yeah. But I didn't hit him, but I was beeping and I was like revving at him, like to get out of the way. He wasn't going to get out of the way until he finished his little show for me there. But the haunting memory of, like, I've never seen a dick that big hard, never mind soft. And it's like,
I'm on the bet that he can't get it hard because there's not enough blood in his body to do it.
Could have been.
It's like, because if he gets it hard, he's going to faint because all the blood will rush from his head, go down. He was like, oh, I don't understand.
There was another time in the city with the same band, and I was behind.
Same band.
The light changed, and I gave him a little, like the light changed. Let's go. And he gave me the finger, and I grabbed my tire iron and got out of the car, but I left the car in gear running, the van in gear, and the guy in the passenger seat goes, dog, dog, dog. And the van is riding up on the guy's back of his car now. It's like up on it, and it's going. And the guy's like freaking out, like, all I did was give you the finger. Like, I'm going to run my fucking car over and beat my head in with a fucking crowbar. So
what if he had to live your life that way with like a giant cock, but the only way that you could fuck is if you'd have to be laying down every time your dick would get hard because it would require so much blood, and you just be like, oh.
Well, I have a similar problem to that. I don't have a super long cock, but I have a super fat cock. No, it's the
Campbell soup over here, Mr. Oh, Campbell, hell no, that's got too much salt. I'm Mr. Progresso.
Motherfucker. The girth is such that it will hurt women, and I've heard that complaint like a lot. It's just like a big fat cock. Not long, but fat. Not like really stubby and not that short, but I mean, fatter than it is long. He's got 26-inch biceps and a 30-inch cock.
So you can wrap. So you wrap it around your. Oh no!
See, and this is what you missed yesterday, and I wasn't even here.
Yeah, yesterday we did. Yesterday we had. I don't think we. The closest we came to talking about sex was we were talking about the lack of sex, or in independent movies on Spark TV. Because he was talking about one of the in the beginning he didn't review the programming that came on Spark TV, and he got dinged from YouTube, and it turns out there was like full frontal nudity, and it's like, oh, I can't have that. Okay, so he started reviewing the stuff.
I think you can have full frontal nudity on YouTube now. You have to check a little box or something.
Well, this was back when there were. Community stands are still
you have to restrict it to age, and they have to sign in with a legitimate and blah blah blah.
If whatever. I'm not vaping, I'm raping.
Yeah, vapes $42 for 2 of them. Now, those aren't THC too. Can the vapes they sell those nationwide actual real THC?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know, because they don't say because the weed things are all THCA. When they sell them online, but the vapes they don't say whether it's real THC or not.
I guess if you're shipping it really can't be THC though, because that would be like federal distribution.
Yeah, because in Maryland you can't do that. But this is what my lawyer is arguing, that I didn't ship THC. I shipped 3 packages. One had T, one had H, and the other had C. And when the people got the packages, they assembled it themselves, so they made their own THC. I did not ship THC. I shipped 3 separate. I shipped the components, and they made their own THC. So I'm in court right now.
I should have given Paul from the jury your number just so you could get in an argument with him, and that would be fun to watch. Because he was one of these guys saying the what ifs. What if he became a billionaire? What if he became Elon Musk? No, he's not. That's not going to happen. What are the odds of that happening?
I did the Slap Tail podcast last night.
Oh, how'd it
go? It went good. It's different because of how their structure is set up there. So, but it was a good time.
Did you see them when you were doing, or was it just a phone call?
No, I seen them. We did it over StreamYard. So,
so they recorded on StreamYard, but they don't publish the video. That's weird.
Yeah, well, me and Damien do that too. We only do an audio version of this.
Yeah.
But you and Damien don't record the video. Y'all just sit across from each other in a table with 2 mics.
No, we use StreamYard because most of the time we do it on Monday afternoons.
Oh, okay. Because when I see y'all do it, y'all like in a room together, and I don't usually see any cameras, just no mics.
Yeah, this current iteration, we've been doing it over like StreamYard just because it's easier scheduling wise.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a podcast that we just kind of do and not put too much crazy effort behind. So,
so there were 4 people plus you, or is that the way it worked, or 5 people plus you?
It was 3 people plus me.
Wow. Yeah. Good for Slaptail's doing something. People are doing something. They got to applaud anybody who's doing something.
Yeah, and then my edible kicked in probably about like 20 minutes in, so that was nice.
I forgot I have that gummy.
I'm going to wind up doing Slaptail also, and I'm probably since it's audio and not video, I think the Reverend and I can both show up at the same time in the podcast to get interview both of us together.
Can you do well? Never mind. It just seems like there might be a little bit of throat cancer going on during that, like switching gears. I'm just saying. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about anything. I'm just high. I'm on THCD. That's what I'm on.
Yeah, because it's funny because I want to interview the Reverend for Done Way Past Funny, And that's been a pain in the ass thinking about how to do that because we can't get it. It's hard to get us in the same room, but we can do it over StreamYard, I think.
Like Michael and Janet doing a duet. You notice there's a pattern here. The only person who has not been invited onto Slaptail is me, the uninteresting dude. That's why my feelings are very hurt about this. You guys have both been asked to do the podcast, and here I am going to jury duty. My life is over. I should just quit.
Yeah, it went pretty, on the other hand, well for us yesterday.
I'm sorry?
I said it went pretty well for us yesterday.
I was kind of watching. I wasn't supposed to be watching, but it seemed like there was an awful long period where GD was just in by himself, right? Or you left?
It seemed long. It was like 10. It was like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. It seemed like
when you're in jury duty watching out of the corner of your eye, it seemed like an hour.
The first minute seemed like it was a good 20 minutes for me because I was having self-doubt about what I wanted to do. Because I planned that I would knew what I was going to talk about, what I wanted to talk about, soon as everything went over, and I didn't put my notes up. I didn't, upload my notes so I'd have something to read. And I was like, shit, I don't remember how to start that conversation. And so without that starter, my brain wanted to talk about the Supreme Court thing. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start ranting and raving, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay entertaining. And so while I was stuck in this little limbo about what to do with my verbiage, and that lasted for like I said, about a minute. And so I played a commercial or something. I played a video, and
I didn't see you play the video.
I played a trailer for Dumb Way Past Funny while I tried to get my thoughts together, and then I was okay. And just when I was starting to feel my groove, Ron came and rescued me.
Good. So Ron did more talking yesterday than he's ever done on this program. If I look at the full accumulation of what Ron said yesterday and compared it to the last year, yesterday will be more than all of it put together, right?
I think it will be within like 7 or 8 words. I think he was actually I think Ron actually matched his accumulation of words.
Slaptail said, I invited everyone to be on the podcast. You declined. I don't remember declining. Did I decline? I think you're talking about my
It sounds like you. Look, listen to your explanation. It sounds like you.
The rest of it, I know, does sound like me. Something about you would be dead soon. Yeah, I would be. Life has no meaning. Yeah. That does sound like me, but the declining sounds more like my credit card company. Not me. I don't decline. I don't. I wouldn't not decline. I would
speak American.
Did the Spark TV? What's his name? Alan something?
Aaron Jehoshaphat.
Did he enjoy the experience or no?
Yeah. He sent me a text almost immediately.
The Alan Katz picture you have up. Alan Katz was on so GD funny. It looks like Ari Shafir. Did you get that? I mean, it looked. Wow, GD got Ari Shafir. How the fuck did he get him? And then, oh wait, I don't remember him looking like that on this program.
Well, and he does that, but that's the headshot he gave me. And I thought to myself, that does not look like him now.
Yeah.
But that's the headshot.
He sent you Ari Shafir's headshot, didn't he?
It could be, but that's the headshot he uses on everything. But that's not the look he has now. And the funny thing is, I can see a resemblance between him and the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. My wife was like, I don't see it. I'm telling you, it's there. I see it. It's like, yeah.
I could see that the animator took one good look at him and said, I got exactly where I'm going here with this Crypt Keeper. Yeah. But I did think it was Ari Shafir as well. So I was like, wow. I was impressed for a second there. Like, wow, look at GD getting Ari Shafir. I've been trying to get him for 4 years.
And I got him without even knowing who he was. No, I have no. The name sounds familiar, Ari Shafir.
Ari Shafir is the guy Carlos Mencia stole a joke from that started the whole joke.
Oh, okay. Then I really don't know who he is. The name is just familiar because I heard you guys talk about him.
He's got a special, I think, on Netflix. It might be on Prime right now. But my problem with his special, the comedy is good, but it feels like the Copacabana. I don't know. Like the set on stage is very distracting. It's not a comedy thing. It feels like it should be showgirls coming out and doing. Her name was Lola. Like what? When I go to a comedy show, I don't want to see that much of a set design. It's very distracting.
It was a lot, all those plants and stuff, but it worked though.
If you guys, because I just put the Alan Katz interview on Don't Worry Pat's Funny. I just put that on YouTube. If you guys do watch it, when you get to around 1 hour and 10 minutes, just skip the 1 hour 10 minutes to the 1 hour 15 minutes. Just skip that part.
Why? Are you saying bad shit about me?
No, he says good stuff about me.
Oh.
And so I don't think you could take it.
That's unusual.
Yeah, so you just want to skip that because you're gonna probably second guess his character.
You think he's got a little jungle fever? You think he wants your black cock in his mouth? Is that why he's saying nice thing about you?
No. No.
Why else would anybody say anything nice about you? That can't be sincere.
Well, that's just it. Because earlier in the show, he talks about how good it feels to have copious amounts of smoke blown up your ass.
Oh. Yeah. This was recap. That's right. And you thought he was just, but then he wants a partnership, which sounds like everyone wants a partnership. But he wants you to move. He's doing a what was that guy's name? Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson used to tell comedians that he would take them on the road with them, meaning sleep on your belly. I'll get you a room. Sleep on your belly, and you can open.
Yeah,
no. When I mean open,
there's no sensual tension there. It's all mutual admiration about sexual problems.
I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
I'm a little skeptical here. I'm a little skeptical to say that.
I know. Well, the first time I heard it, I was like, even if I'm like. Nobody says nice things like that about me. I don't even say nice things about me like that.
I know.
But when I was editing, I had to listen to it again, and I said either I'm starting to believe that he believes it, or he really is sincere, and I just still have trouble. No.
We'll have to look deeper into this.
But he was like very graphic about the details. I mean, about why he likes my humor.
Huh.
That's
all right. So maybe it is sincere. Who knows? Maybe the guy just can't tell funny from.
Here's the deal. Even if he was blowing smoke up my ass, there's no reason to say I want to work with you.
That's true.
And we've been exchanging notes. The matter of fact, the groundwork is already laid for the podcast. We've been exchanging phone calls and texts and emails, and we've already got the outline for the first 10 weeks of the podcast.
I don't get where people plan out shit. Maybe
we're planning out the topics. The topic. So that, for example, there's some things I'm going to have to research, because we're doing comedy. We're talking about pretty much the history of comedy, which is kind of funny because I don't really know who people are, at least nowadays. So I guess it is good that I'm doing history because I do know some of the older ones.
Yeah, well, history. I think this is my problem with people in the arts these days. They don't know the history of their craft, whether it's comedy, music, acting, all this stuff. People don't really care about what came before them. I think it's important, no matter what your craft is, even if you're a carpenter or if you're a fucking plumber, to know the history of your craft, to know something about it. And it's here. I got a question for you guys. Link Ray, you know who he is?
That's Earl James Earl Ray brother.
Close enough. Ron knows him, right? Ron knows him.
Yeah, guitarist. What? 50s, originally 50s, 60s.
He's a Native American guitarist who. Rumble was the song.
Okay, I know the band Rumble. I don't remember his name. Yeah, I know the band Rumble.
No, it wasn't a band. It was a song, Rumble. It got banned because it was inciting aggressive behavior in kids in the 50s.
Read something?
Isn't Link Ray one of the first people credited for like the fuzz guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I did a short on him, the greatest guitar player that most people never heard of. And then some guy came back, it's only the young people that never heard of him. I said, no, I asked 3,000 boomers, and no people didn't know who he was. Now, of course, they know Jimmy Page, they know Eric Clapton.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I do know who he is. I'm looking at a picture of him. Yes.
He, Doctor My Eyes, the Jackson Brown song, Doctor My Eyes. It's a great guitar player in that. He played on that. It's a really interesting guitar part because it's not a typical guitar solo type of thing. But anyway, but a lot of people don't know who he is, and I was pointing that out, and one guy said, well, everybody, it's just the younger kids that don't know him. I like, if you survey a lot of boomers, I guarantee, and he's from the boomer era, people should know him, but they don't. So but yeah, the history of comedy, there are so many people that are just forgotten, even not that long ago. I mean, 70s, 80s, 90s, those people.
For Link Ray, like, I knew of the song Rumble and stuff, but what kind of really hit me to him again was Pulp Fiction. Put him back on the map.
Right, absolutely. And there's a movie out called Rumble, which is about Native American influence on rock and roll, and most people don't realize how deep that goes. And they include Jimi Hendrix. Like, Jimi Hendrix, he had about as much as Elizabeth Warren, right, as Native American blood. I don't know about that one, but they go down the list of all these people who had some Native American. A lot of them were, full blood Native Americans.
Yeah, that's because I think there's a band called Redman or something.
Redbone, yeah. Come and Get Your Love.
Are you saying Diablo Blancos would steal from musicians that aren't the same skin color?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Let's make
But the movie Rumble, I think it's on Netflix. You can go, or Amazon Prime. One of those. One of the ones that I have. It's not on Hilarious. But or it might be on Hilarious, but you don't have to have. What is this? Come on, go away with the phone calls.
I know.
Alan, the Native American Council for the Arts, calling to speak me out.
When we were talking, Alan had mentioned restoration comedy, and I'm like, I had no idea what restoration comedy was, and I was thinking that was like, 1864, 1865. That's what I was thinking, and I'm really, but I didn't say that. But I'm like, I don't know what restoration comedy is, and I'm not going to tip my hand and show how ignorant I am just yet.
Yeah,
and he didn't. He just kept saying restoration comedy. He didn't like tip his hand like what it was. And I actually had to Google it. And restoration comedy is like the comedy back from like the 16 and 1700s.
So, Matt, the movie you were referring to is called Rumble, The Indians Who Rocked the World, and you can watch that on Netflix. It's from 2017, because if you just do a search for Rumble, it brings up a 2021 kids movie about a dragon, it looks like.
Oh, well, we don't want that.
Yeah,
but it is on Netflix, people, if you want to watch it.
Yeah,
I did see that. I did like it.
A lot of Robbie Robertson and the band stuff. People don't realize that Robbie was half Native American, half Jewish, which is a weird combination, and all Canadian, which is even weirder. He's a Canadian Jewish Indian.
At the end of the movie, a white guy shows up in a suit, and they take all the rights for the songs.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's typical.
Yeah. Really cool. Really good movie, though. I enjoyed it. One of the best informative documentaries about music that.
Have you seen the one about Stax? Have you seen the documentary about Stax?
No.
I've seen some of that, I believe.
Is that available on Netflix or Amazon Prime? Because I don't get those. I'm drawing my subscription line right there.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's out there.
You know what? The another good one was 20 feet. I forget. It's something like 20 feet away from stardom or something like that. It's about the backup singers, all the great backup.
Oh
singers.
yeah.
That was a really
So you can watch the Stax documentary. It's called Soulsville, USA, and it looks like it's on Max. You can watch it there if you have, or Hulu, or even Prime.
Prime is my thing. Prime, because it's already. I don't know how to cancel my subscription. That's the problem. So I will
you can probably watch it on Prime. It looks like.
Yeah, I'll be.
If you stop paying it, it'll cancel itself. No,
I can't stop paying it. I would. Once you they hook into your bank account, you are fucking theirs. They own you.
Now I'm going to recommend. It was a good informative movie, but I was so fucking angry toward the end at the people that fucked over Stax Records.
Ooh.
You may want to take like an edible or something that's going to kick in about 1 hour into the movie, because that's when it starts getting fucking nasty.
I wouldn't get mad. I'm a white guy. Why would I get mad? I'd be happy. Yeah, we're stealing the stuff.
Well, no, it's white people fucking over white people and black people.
Oh, well, you're fucking over white people.
Yeah. See, I know you don't care about the black people. Yeah, but they're fucking over white people too.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, because Stax actually was owned by 2 white people.
Those sons of bitches.
But they were
I want to sue them for tens of millions of dollars.
You should sue them in court.
The other one, Muscle Shoals. There's a good one about Muscle Shoals.
Is that the weightlifter?
Yes. With foot odor. The weightlifter with foot odor.
Somebody stop me. You clean those feet first.
Does that joke need some explanation? Probably. I'm not going to give you any. Yeah.
Well, I thought Muscle Shoals had the Swampers.
Yeah, they do.
Do.
Yeah. So is it freezing cold where you guys are? Is it? Because I'm looking at.
Yeah, it was miserable yesterday because it was like 50 something, but like the wind was horrible yesterday.
The wind began to howl.
Yeah, it was just cold. I actually had to pull my winter coat back out and shit because how fucking cold it was.
I don't get it. Like, do you not see what the date is? Come on.
Yeah, last night.
It's baseball season.
Last night was a 3-cat night.
Yeah.
We don't have any dogs, so.
And I had to get up first thing in the morning. My wife put recycling stuff out. They're supposed to take that on Wednesdays. And the can blew over. And then all the recycling stuff is all the way up and down the street. And I'm out there in my fucking pajamas, freezing my balls off, running around with a can trying to pick up all these things. It's not a good way to get up in the morning. It's not. I haven't had my coffee yet. And I'm out here in my pajamas running up and down the street. Let's go.
Well, at least you're nice enough to do that. My recycle doesn't get blown around like that. We had one night where I'm not going to mention names, but let's just say the woman I'm married to, we'll call her my wife, so we remain anonymous. She put food scraps in the trash, and I did not, unbeknownst to me. And when I put the bag out, the raccoons and the buzzards and the hawks and the crows and ravens just tore my shit all. And the thing is, it wasn't even that much food. It was just one can of cat food that she didn't scrape all of the stuff out of, and they just tore the whole thing apart to get that one can. That can and stuff is dragged all up and down the street. I had to put it back.
Did they leave a thank you note?
No, and they don't put the trash back either.
Fuck.
And they knew what they were looking for, and once they got it, they could have put everything back.
No manners at all. Yeah. So,
now, guys, you're both married. What's the dumbest thing you've had to have your spouse help you look for? I mean, that was in plain sight. Like
my car.
I couldn't find the mayonnaise in the refrigerator the other day, and that's why I said. And I knew we had just opened it. I knew it was like there's no we could. It still should have been like a half a jar of mayonnaise, and I knew we couldn't have gone through it. So I thought maybe. You know how sometimes you're doing something, you put like, instead of putting things back where it belongs, you like put it in a microwave or you put it in the cupboard. And I didn't, and I just said, honey, did you use the last of the mayonnaise? She goes, no, it's right there. I said, in the refrigerator? And she goes, "You mean come find it for you?" I said, No, I'll find it myself. And I had to tear the refrigerator apart, and it was actually the first place I looked. I just moved it out of the way to look for it.
Wow. We have 2 refrigerators because uh, I don't know, but the downstairs refrigerator, which is the better one, is used for hiding things from the grandson that he's not supposed to get into.
Like weed.
Like more like ice cream. He's got dietary issues, sugar issues. So they don't want him having sugar. So we hide all the good. But he knows where to go to find it better than I do. So I can never find anything good, any snack stuff down there. But he knows. It's like a bloodhound with that stuff. He can sniff it out.
Yeah. You can't find anything, and he knows where everything is.
He'll walk in the door and like, nope. There's an ice cream downstairs. I know it.
It's Blue Bunny.
Yeah. It's just so I don't have that. Am having issues with forgetting to put down the toilet seat 3 times in the last month, and I'm going to hell for that, according to my wife. But here's the thing: why can't women just learn how to work a fucking toilet seat? I mean, it's not. Even if you just use these 2 fingers, it's easy to wash them off if you're worried about, if you're a germaphobe or whatever. Why can't they just learn how to work instead of becoming homicidal maniacs over you left the toilet seat up? Any insight into that?
I think it's just part of the deal. I think it's just part of the deal. You live with a woman. It's like etiquette. It's just etiquette.
I know it is, and I don't know why I'm spacing it out. I've spaced it out 3 times in the last month, which is
it that you take so long? Is it that it takes so long for you to pee that you forget you have the seat up, and you're just so grateful that you actually had to take it? You got your leak that you just said, "Thank God I'm finished."
I think I get involved in doing other things before I get out of the bed. Like that shaving takes me.
That's it. Wait a minute, you can't shave and pee at the same time?
Every time, like I'm in here pissing, I gotta do a quick shave.
Yeah. Well, I have to shave the whole fucking head, so it's. But no.
Well, as long as you got it out, you might as well. Yeah, you're peeing. You might as well shave.
I don't know. I'm just peeing and going to wash my hands, and then seeing the old man in the mirror saying that dude needs a shave, and then before you know it, I'm involved in shaving and forgot all about putting the seat down. I don't know. I got to work on it. I got to get like a stun gun for myself or something, because one more time, you'll be doing the show alone next week. So it's going to be a little bit. We're on a downhill spiral here. We're going downhill fast. Losing all the guests, losing all the co-hosts. Next week we'll lose me, and it'll just be the GD show.
I'm coming for you.
Exactly.
Would you have now? What you might try doing, because this helped with one of my brothers. My mother had a problem with. Whenever he went to go pee, she tied string to the toilet seat and his pecker. So he tried to walk away. The seat just came down with him, just like that. As soon as he walked away, the seat just came down.
Wow.
So you may want to try tying a string to your pecker and to the toilet seat.
Here's part of the problem too. The prostate is so inflamed that I take a nap when I pee. I lean forward with my head.
That's what I asked. If you're just there so long that you forget.
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I wake up like, oh, is it over yet? It's a very. I probably have prostate cancer, but who cares, right? Like Sapsel said, I'm just going to suffer tremendously rather than go to the doctor and have them fucking do radial seed, whatever they do, or fucking laser surgery on my gonads. No.
Since it's just my wife and I, we don't close the bathroom door when we use the bathroom because there's no point, not really. So the door's open and I'm taking a piss and the crossword puzzle is open and it's on the back of the toilet, and I'm pissing and I reading the crossword puzzle. And I said, I know that answer. We actually talked about that on the show today, and it was noon. Noone. Oh, is it Peter Noone? And that was the clue, and the answer was was noon. Now I know that one. We talked about it on the show today. So while I'm peeing, I get all excited and I reach over and I start doing the crossword puzzle while I'm peeing. And my wife sees me standing over the toilet pissing, and she's, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah, I know the answer to that one."
So you leave the door open even when you're taking a dump?
And I was peeing.
Oh,
But yeah, I do that all. Yeah, when I'm taking the dump, I leave the door open too.
Wow.
That way you can wave to her while she's watching TV.
I not only
here's the deal.
when I go in to pee, I not only lock the door, I put a wedge against it. I get a sofa to put up against the door. A bank vault, blocked it like a barricade.
Well, my wife and I, once we got cats, we realized it was useless to close the door to do anything in private. Because as soon as you close the door, the cat's going to start scratching the door. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? And if you don't open the door, they'll scratch the door, which means I have to paint it. So, we just, yeah.
I would just kill the cat.
Oh no, my wife, the cat
all
is
9 times.
No,
times kill the cat.
My wife will have me starve to death and die before anything happens to that cat.
Oh, all right, cool. Let's work on that.
My wife has projected all that is good in the world into that cat.
Yeah. Instagram people are coming back again. I know that's weird. Sometimes some days we have like 40 people in Instagram. Some days we have like 4. Today but we've had several days where we had none. I just want to sing you a little song. Can I sing you Boy, the way Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. And you knew when you were then. Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Lee Harvey Oswald again. Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald. That's what I'm getting to. Where is my Lee Harvey Oswald?
A comic that I know by the name of Chris Allen, he put a tweet out there. He said, Trump got us into a math war with Asians. We're fucked.
That's beautiful.
It is. That's a good
should be
joke.
A Hallmark card.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
Now, are the lefties lying to me? That's what I want to know. Because
about what?
HuffPo came out with a thing that the White House is moving towards deporting American citizens. And it's like,
that was their plan. Yeah, they're not lying.
Like if they don't get riots in the streets over that, like nobody's gonna riot.
That's why that's why it's so important for them to stand with that the guy that was here legally, Alberto Garcia, and they know that they made a mistake. They know it's wrong, but they're standing their ground about bringing them back. That's their test case. You know how certain that with precedents, like little things, that well, if we can do this in the law, then we can tweak it. We can do that in the law. And we can do that. That they're trying to get to that and to the point where they can, like I said, freely deport citizens and remove their citizenship. It's like it's like a stripping away. They're slowly trying to erode away those things. So when it gets to the Supreme Court, they'll basically say, "Well, I can kind of see their logic." That's what they're going for. Yeah, they want to be able to deport.
They got 6-3 on the court now, right? So
yeah,
Amy Barrett, call me Barrett, whatever her name. She seems to be becoming a little bit more human or empathetic towards the human race, and voting, siding with the dark liberals, the woke idiots. She seems to be finding some humanity and empathy, and she voted with the liberals on this whole thing, right? So
she did 5-4. Now it's also possible because, and I don't want to say it's like a woman thing, but maybe a woman appreciation thing. Because if you're a woman on the Supreme Court, chances are you work twice as hard as the guys did to get there. And in some cases, they're going to just assume that you slept with somebody to get to get something. They're not going to think that you came about what you did honestly. So it's a respect thing as well. I think. I'm not saying that that Barrett isn't still a staunch conservative, but I think she does want to be appreciated for what she's accomplished intellectually, and doesn't want to be considered a rubber stamp vote just because she was put on the court.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the guys, they're like, it's a dick fest. It's a sausage fest.
Hey, don't worry. That China tariff, they levied against us is only 84%.
Yeah.
Oh, instead of 104.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did.
No, we did 104. They did 80.
Yeah,
Okay.
84 back. I don't know.
They realize they're not going to win this, right? Because we're their biggest customer. So China
No, but they could win. They could win though, because they also hold a lot of our debt.
They're selling off the debt, though, right? That they're all trying to sell off the debt. Like, who's going to buy it at this point?
Who can buy
it? Who?
Musk.
Who can buy it?
Oh, I guess Musk.
I don't
can
know.
buy
I
it.
haven't talked to who in a while.
Like maybe Musk and Bezos and maybe Bezos. Oh, though you know something, the progressive billionaires should buy the debt, and that way they'll hold a trump card, and they'll say, "Look, guys, you stop fucking us over. We will call in our debt. We'll demand payment today."
Here's what I don't understand, and maybe you can explain this to me. And I know this is probably going to turn off a lot of the listeners, but the farmland that I keep hearing China's buying up all our farmland. Is it the Chinese government or a private Chinese investors buying up farmland in America?
I think it's investors buying up.
Yeah, it's not the Chinese government. It's investors in China.
So now
this is nothing new. This has been going on for decades.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just thinking about if there was like a full-on trade war, we decide, or they decide, or whoever decides, we're just gonna fucking go bananas because that Kevin, the guy from Fox News and from Shark Tank, he's calling for 400% tariff on China.
There are no fucking winners. There are no fucking winners in a trade war.
Yeah, the
We're too global.
The laws and rules of capitalism strictly tell you tariffs are always a horrible idea. It's one of them. It's a fucking major part of capitalism.
Right.
They're only good as a penalty and normally kill the industries they're trying to protect.
But my question about the farmland is, if it's owned by the Chinese government, which we're not clear on, it could be investors, but that's their property. Right, so are they getting charged? Is that
it would just become a whole fucking? It would just become a mess because we would try and start to seize land, and China would say, "Well, fuck you. You have companies over here with factories. We close them down, and we own them now. We're China.
Well, some of them have already been closed.
Yeah, we can't."
I've had several experts on the Chinese infrastructure who claim China is more advanced than us in cyber infrastructure and military infrastructure, as far as intercontinental ballistic missiles and all that kind of stuff. And if it came down to it, China would kick our ass. Now, that's not a comforting thought. And I know that a lot of Americans don't want to think that. They want to think, well, we're number one. We're number one. We're number one. But I don't think...
I think we would both lose. It would be a loss on both sides.
Yeah.
But China could definitely take us to the fucking mat without an issue. They're not afraid to fuck around. Yeah. And they hold so many of the cards because that moron, because he's a bad businessman, doesn't understand you can't just turn manufacturing around in a couple of months. It's like years and decades it takes that because those U.S. companies did not show up in China overnight. That was decades in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it keeps coming back to, yesterday. You won't find an American car in Berlin, Tokyo, or Shanghai. And I was like, you know what? Tariffs aren't going to make them want to buy American cars. You got to make cars they want to buy. It's like, you open a business and you're mad at the customers for not wanting to buy the shit products that you sell. Maybe you should consider selling products that people actually want.
Like Harley Davidson. They love Harley Davidsons.
Who does?
Europeans, Harley Davidsons, and in Canada, probably China. Now, I don't think India, but...
Neil Young likes a Harley Davidson, right? She rides a Harley Davidson.
Now
happy I mentioned.
I only know like 3 or 4 Neil Young songs outside of anything he did with Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
So you don't know the Harley Davidson thing?
Never heard of it.
Really?
Not that I'm aware of. If I did hear it, it was like in the background of like some doctor's office or
I
something.
want to say it's within the last 20 years. I think it probably an album he put out like 2004 during the Bush administration somewhere. It might have been 2003, something like that. Harvest Moon, right? That one, not Harvest Moon album.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I remember that one because that one
Yeah.
was out like when I was in high school or something.
Wow.
Because I almost got into Neil Young because there was a young Asian lady that was liked Neil Young. I was like,
all right.
Isn't it amazing the things that we'll do just for a little poo-tang?
For sure.
I don't know. There's some music I would not be able to handle for that. But when I was in the market for as much pussy as I could get, I would sacrifice my musical taste for that shit. Sure, why not? She's into that. Yeah, I could make myself get into that. But there's some kind of music that I don't know. I'm not going to think of an example now of some Morrison. That guy, not Jim Morrison or Van Morrison. That guy, or Morrissey. What is that his name?
Morrissey.
Oh, Morrissey. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Of
could not.
the Smiths.
Yeah, the Smiths. Yeah.
Yeah.
The very gay Morrissey.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about. Whoa! Look at this upside down.
Yeah, I had a young lady I was involved with, and had me going into to gay clubs with her because that's where the best dance music was.
You sure it was a young lady?
Oh yeah, yeah.
100%
sure.
Maybe she just had he just really had a really small dick.
Well, she had a kid also.
Well, all right. I'm not sure how that happens.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to fake.
How does that happen?
Well, it usually takes at least a donor.
All right. So that's the show for you, folks. Anything else that we want to? I know we have time, but I don't have time. I don't have time left. Ask Slaptail. I'm dying.
Well, Kill Tony premiered on Netflix.
I thought it already did, right? A couple of nights ago.
Yeah, like a couple of nights ago.
And is that the one from Nashville or something?
No, it's from Rogan's Club. But I gotta say, it's I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of that show. I'll check in with it from time to time. But I gotta say, for like a Netflix premiere and stuff, it was very lackluster.
Wow. Do we know what the numbers were like?
No, I should look that up. But the highlight would be like Shane Gillis doing Trump. But at the same time, it's like, well, this is all you got.
Yeah, really. Well, I guess there are people who've never seen it online who don't. I'm sure my wife watches Netflix, and I'm sure she's never heard of Kill Tony. She might stumble upon it because it's on Netflix, and she would definitely never. She wouldn't know Shane Gillis from a fucking hole in the wall. So maybe that would appeal to her. I don't know, but I'm just curious about how that will do. I don't. There has to be everything has a kind of expiration date on it, right? And it just seems like Kill Tony should have run its course already by now. Like that 15 minutes should have been up.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's exactly how it felt watching it. It really felt like, oh, this the moment like this show has like jumped the shark.
Yeah,
because you're like watching it, and it kind of does feel like an American Idol moment where you feel like I think you're supposed to feel like, oh, like all these people are watching this, but I don't believe that. And like that, like my opinion of that first episode was very like, yeah, okay.
I don't think it's good for a comedy as an industry for mass consumers to see bad comedy happening everywhere, because this is the thing I get from, and not just boomers, Gen Zers and Gen Xers and whatever. Everybody is telling me this. Comedy club. Oh, I know people who are funnier than that. Why should I go spend $40 a ticket to get into a comedy club when I'm going to see people who aren't really that funny? And that's just going to reinforce it. If you see these people who just open micers who've been doing it for 6 weeks or even less, getting up on Kill Tony and sucking for a minute and then getting roasted by comedians, and even that generally isn't that funny, you're going to turn a lot of people off to going to comedy clubs. That's just my belief on the whole thing. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't think things like American Idol, even though people love to stay home and watch the auditions and how bad people were, I don't think that was good for people going out to clubs to see music. And I'm seeing a lot more karaoke acts that now people putting away the musicians and bringing backing tracks and doing bad karaoke out in clubs because they've seen it on television for 20 years now, and this is passable. I'm not. Maybe long term it might be good, but I don't think so.
I have a slightly off. I have a question real quick about what you two think about this. Ron has said he thinks it's the one where it jumps the shark. I don't know how many people know where the expression "jump the shark" came from, but if you're Henry Winkler, are would you be like upset that one moment of your life has become a phrase to express when something really bad, when you're just taking it too far?
Here's what where my stupid belief about jump the shark is, and I'm probably way off. I thought it had to do with the Batman thing. Batman was on surfing, and the shark came up, and he jumped over the shark. This is 1966 on the television show Batman.
Yeah, but the expression didn't take off until Henry Winkler, until the Fonz jumped the shark in Happy Days.
Oh,
but the expression is like 20 plus years old now too.
Well, that was 66, so that would make it like 60 years old.
Well, but I mean, jump the shark didn't really get into the vernacular until what, like 20, 25. Yeah, but no, I mean, the expression didn't appear until like 25 years ago.
That's
interesting. I think it started a little bit before then.
Origins. I'm gonna look.
But anyway, I mean, like what you're saying, Matt, with Kill Tony, that is an interesting point. That if you put that out there on Netflix, does it become something to water down comedy? Because Netflix has that other side. It's like we have the best comedians and the best specials. And then if you do start putting that on a platform where people really aren't adverse to comedy and seeing really how it works, where that comedians fail on stage all the time, as you should, because it's part of the process. And
unfortunately, I think Hulu got into the game a little too late, because if I look at the lineups, I think Hulu's got the superior comedy specials coming out. But Netflix is known for Netflix is a joke, and they have a comedy festival. They did last year anyway. I don't know if they're going to continue that thing. That Netflix is a joke, where they did like a whole week of shows: L.A., Austin, New York. And they have the brand on Netflix as a joke, but I think Hulu is having more consistent quality. According to Google, the expression "jump the shark" originates from a 1977 Happy Days episode where Fonzie Henry Winkler water skis over a shark.
Yeah, I think this year there is no Netflix is a joke festival.
Wow, did it not bring in enough money last year?
No, I think they want to do it like every 2 years and not a yearly thing.
I'm seeing a lot more of these people I used to have respect for, but go right wing in comedy. Yesterday, I saw a show of people, a lineup of. I'm not going to mention names, but Mike Binder, I will mention his name, who was a RFK guy. He was hard on RFK. I mean, hard on. And then I kept saying, if you're an RFKer, you're a Trumper, because eventually he's going to go with Trump. Oh, no. And then he did, and then Binder stayed with him. But he put together a lineup of people who I used to think were not necessarily politically left, but they were definitely not fascist supporters, and now they're doing shows with all. And I think if you're on that label, on that bill, you're playing to an audience that is expecting the Jim Brewers, the the right hard right wing stuff. It's like, when did comedy ever in my lifetime before this have a right wing slant? I never saw so much. And my parents, my brother, my ex brother, would say that my parents were divided. I didn't. This was
Wouldn't
not
it
my.
be like wouldn't it be like the 50s, like the McCarthy era? And
Maybe, I don't know, and but that was the time that spawned the Lenny Bruces and the George Carlin that came around in the early '60s, right? So
yeah.
maybe in the '50s, yeah, maybe it was more
Yeah, I mean,
subdued.
I know comedy wasn't like everywhere because it was in, like, in coffee houses and stuff, but you had that whole fucking angle that people are communists and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that shit.
blacklisted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were going after stand-up as much, but obviously, eventually they did when Lenny Bruce started getting arrested and stuff like that. But then coming back to the history of comedy stuff, I'm seeing a lot of Moms Mabley. All of a sudden, like, people rediscover. You, Ron, you know Moms Mabley? I know GD probably does. But
I know the name, and I think I have seen her before.
she's like a black grandmother in the '60s. Like, she was old when I.
Well, here's the funny thing: the character was the woman who portrayed her was young, and so when as the woman who portrayed Moms Mabley got older, Moms Mabley didn't have to get older because she was already an old woman.
Yeah.
Before we go any further,
welcome to Boomer Corner, the only corner that you can get stuck in.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the history of comedy now with the women in comedy. There were a lot of women in comedy in that era of Moms Mabley, but here's the common denominator. They were all unattractive women. You had Moms Mabley, you had Toady Fields, you had Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers, who before she got all the plastic makeup made her act about being ugly, the ugly woman that nobody wanted. It was all about, you had to be an ugly woman. Now you have these.
I don't think Phyllis Diller was actually an ugly woman. I think she uglied herself up.
Right. But that was kind of the attitude. Like, you had to be ugly to succeed if you were a woman in comedy. Nobody was going to want an attractive woman. Now we're seeing some attractive women getting.
And I'm not even certain that Moms Mabley, well, before she was Moms Mabley, she wasn't that. I don't think she was. I'm trying to remember what she looked like before she did the Moms Mabley persona, because she was pretty, at least, well, maybe she was attracted to other women because she was a lesbian. No, actually, she was bi. I think she was bi. She was very sexually active.
You know what? She looked like, I'm looking at a picture of her. I should share this because it does look like she
used to dress like a man, and she used to dress like a man.
She purposely kind of made herself as unattractive.
Well, there's Phyllis Diller.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Phyllis Diller went out of her way to become, to make herself as unattractive as possible. Share screen here. Moms Mabley. Here's Moms. Now you see this picture of her here where she definitely, but this is actually what she looked like, which is,
yeah,
obviously she was working on trying to be less.
And not only that, that picture on the right is probably more like a glamour shot, because when she dressed up when she went out after, to pick up women, she actually dressed more like a man. She wore suits and had her hair slicked back, styled like a guy.
Yeah. Toady Fields was just plain ugly. Just plain fucking ugly. But wait, what is this? I made it to 10 minutes of some hot chicks Netflix special. Absolutely not funny, but making money in 10 minutes. Was not Nikki Glaser, because Nikki Glaser can, and I don't think she's that hot, but she dresses like she's trying to be hot. Like, she wears mini skirts and high heels.
Yeah, but she has no acetol. She has that disease, that drug, no acetol. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Rob.
but Nikki Glaser is very attractive. I mean,
Yeah.
she might not be your body type or whatever, but she's very attractive, and
I think she's attractive from like the navel up.
yeah, and she's like joke wise, especially when it comes to roast, she's a stone cold killer.
Yeah.
I think I've seen her where she's been a stone cold killer, but then I've seen her when she was like,
Yeah, and I think you can make that case for any comic.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you could see them where they have good times, and there's other times you see them was like, well, maybe that's not their best.
He's saying that, and so funny he can't remember her name. Yeah, there's a lot of Whitney Cummings is one of these people that seems to be making a hard right. I don't know if she was always hard right, but yesterday she was doing some extremely right wing propaganda.
I think she got damaged somewhere along the line because I don't remember her as being. I used to really enjoy her humor, and I think she got damaged, and she's like striking back somehow.
Yeah.
She made a turn or something because I used to really enjoy her comedy, and I really enjoyed her business savvy, and what she was doing for the comedy community for a while.
What she was doing for you mean getting on her knees and blowing Bert Kreischer, being the only one to do it? That was a service to the comedy community?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't know either. I just made it up.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if I just made it. I have a feeling there was something going on there. But whatever. But you know what? The woman from it's Tom Segura's little network there. I can't remember her name though. She goes out of her way to show cleavage and all that stuff. She's kind of, I say, attractive if you are a horny guy. Slutty kind of attractive, but she's not funny at all. I forget her name now. I can't. Another one. I guess that could be the one that Slaptail's talking about there. But yeah, there are a lot of women, a lot more women in comedy these days, and I think it doesn't help to be overly attractive. I don't think it helps.
Now, there's a local female comedian. She's relatively new. I think she's like a year in. I think so. But she dressed very slutty, so to speak, very provocative, very low cut dresses, and was really accenting her breasts. You know, low cut tops,
that's distracting,
pushing them up to here, and then she got upset when people were just commenting on her breasts when her breast was actually more exciting than her humor.
Wow.
And the thing is, she complained about it, but she won't stop doing it.
Right.
You know, so I can't take her complaints seriously.
You're using it while complaining about what you get out of it. I don't know. That's not good. Annie Letterman, funny or not funny?
I haven't heard her recent material. I used to think she was funny, but I didn't see her stand up, so to speak. When I watched her in the beginning, I became aware of her because of that After Midnight show where they had to like kind of improvise lines and stuff based on news articles or whatever.
I'm not aware.
Yeah, it was
was Crack the Sky the house band?
No. This is way after Crack the Sky. But I thought she was good on that. You know, I mean, there was a number of people that I thought was funny on that show, like the girl or the young lady who does the AT&T commercials. Her name is Lily Wine something, but she does the AT&T commercials. I thought she was hilarious on that show. I don't know if her stand-up is like.
Oh.
Yeah, she had to stop. Yeah, she went the aunt. I forget her last name, but the AT&T lady. She was, the comic, and she went through a whole mess of shit because she's very attractive.
Yeah,
and people couldn't let that go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she is.
Yeah. There are a couple of regulars that they call them house favorites or club favorites, who are very attractive women, but they're very funny too. and it's not distracting. Because I think they talk about it pretty quick, like, yeah, get it out of the way. I know you're looking at my boobs or whatever you're looking at me, but they move on past it pretty quickly. But very funny. I'm not going to mention any names because I'll probably fuck them up. But there are more women in comedy than there ever were before. So, good for them. Good for women, right? Or no? I wouldn't like it.
Lily Van Trub.
I wouldn't like to be dating a woman who was just constantly funny.
MVAYNTRUB.
What? What is
That's
that?
her last name.
Really?
Yeah, Lily. Well, her real name is Milana. MILANA. VAYNTRUB.
We got to get back to old-fashioned names. Joe Smith, Donna Douglas. I'm tired of these fucking fancy-ass names. People want fancy-ass names.
And actually, before she was a comedian, she was a model. So she was, like I said, I thought she was funny. I wondered what had happened. But next thing you know, I see she's on AT&T commercials. And I guess that's so lucrative, she didn't have to do comedy anymore. I don't know.
Steven just posted on Facebook, when a customer recognizes you from doing comedy and you book a gig at the same time, it's a good day. I'm just going to say, if somebody saw you in a comedy club in a wheelchair with his look and they don't recognize you, they're fucking probably retarded. That's all I'm going to say. I get recognized by people all the time because I look funny and ugly and stupid, and they're like, "Yeah, how can you forget that look?" I mean, it's not a good day to be recognized. That means people picked up on the fact that you're a freak.
I did a show. I did a show in Iowa, and I was there for a few days. I was 3 shows in Iowa, and like the second day, I'm going into the supermarket so I could buy food for the hotel, and on my way in, there's this black guy coming out, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're the comedian, right? I saw you the other night." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Thank you." I said, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, and then the next 20 minutes he talked about my hair, and I mean, wanted to know where I got it done, blah blah blah. Literally asked me for 20 minutes. He talked about my hair, and then and I said, "Well, the guy who does my hair is in Baltimore. And unless you're going into Baltimore, he's not going to do your hair." And so when we finished the conversation, he walks away, and I thought to myself, not once did he say I was funny.
Right.
He just,
what you should have done when he said you're the comedian? You said, "No, I'm a rock star." And then when he said, "What's your name?" you could have said Lou Reed, and they would check it out.
That only works with you.
It didn't work with me. It backfired on me very quickly because the girl had access to the internet and says, "Lou Reed dead." But it's always good to fuck with Lou Reed. But Baltimore, how them Orioles doing? You're
I have no idea. I don't follow sports really.
Really?
No, I don't follow sports. I don't follow sports until sports comes to my door.
I could have sworn you were a Baltimore Oriole fan. No, you never.
I'm not saying I never was. I mean, I had Oriole paraphernalia, somewhere in the house. But it's like I have a signed Jim Palmer ball.
Which one was it? His left one or his right one?
It was actually, I think it was his left. I think it was left. It was before he was Hall of Fame, so he didn't sign it HOF. I'm told that makes it more valuable if he signs it HOF. So why would that make it more valuable? But a rookie card would be more valuable than a Hall of Fame baseball card. I don't understand.
I don't know. If I knew about these things, I could be making bank on a sports memorabilia podcast who were hiring for an on-air host. Got to know about sports cards and trading. But the paid, it was like $3,000 a week to do this dopey little trading card podcast thing. I was gonna anybody knows about that, I could hook you up. If you got to be an expert on it and not be shy behind a microphone. But yeah, that's still big business, the trading card stuff, right? I wonder if it will be with the coming economy. People are going to be blowing money on trading cards and nonsense like that. I have a show today but
Painting show is just a trading card show.
A music show.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm really worried that these gigs are going to be canceled if like a recession hits hard, like hits Main Street hard. I'm really worried about it. Like my calendar is pretty full right now, and I'm just expecting to get phone calls to start coming in, like when banks start calling in their notes. Like yeah, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm gonna die. Poor on this. You guys don't care. Yeah.
Oh no, we're just used to hearing you bitch and complain about being scared and worried.
Right.
If you came in one day and you said everything is wonderful, the world's a great place to be,
I'd
be
in
worried
one day
then.
and said that.
I would. If you came in and said the world's a great place, I'm having a wonderful day, life is worth living, I would start texting Ron on the side, going, Ron, what the fuck is going on?
Sorry, but within the last couple of months, I did say that once. I found myself saying that once.
And if you check the chats, you see Ron and I were going back and forth, going, "What the fuck is wrong? Is he dying?"
I think it was a gummy, to be honest with you. I think it was the gummy from the night before that still hadn't worn off.
Or was
Mannequin pussy.
But no, I'm not. So I have a show today, but not expecting to keep this up. I'm thinking sooner or later they're gonna start calling in and saying, "We just can't afford it. Nobody can afford to go. We can't afford to pay you, but will you still do the gig?" No. No.
Now, do either of you have a mistake that you made? One mistake that your wife just keeps bringing up. It's like this one thing. It's like whenever they get a chance, they bring up this one thing. Do you have that one thing they bring up whenever they get a chance?
I don't remember. I don't remember my wife that much. What does she look like?
She's the one feeding the chickens in the backyard.
Yeah, in the front yard now. They
come to
the front door. They used to be backyard chickens, but now they're front door chickens because the black chicken
is gone.
Yeah, so they felt, all right, we can go to the front door now.
They only use the back door because that one black chicken's like, I can't use the front door. I can't use the front door.
Yeah. My wife, you talked. What you didn't talk about. The Rev talked about the difference between the way people talk to humans and their pets. My wife with the chickens is just off the charts with the baby talk. It's like, you think they know what that means? You're getting goo goo gaga with fucking chickens. They got a brain this fucking big in that little chicken head. I don't know. They don't seem to mind when I tell them, get the fuck out of my way. They still stand by my feet. Like they don't move. They don't know the difference between me saying, get the fuck out of my way, and her going, oh, hello, baby. They don't know. It's just humans. Same human. Because they're chickens and they're fucking stupid. That's what I'm saying.
They're not so stupid. I mean, I remember the first. Well, first of all, Ron, does Laura have one mistake of yours that she brings up whenever she gets a chance, other than the kids? You told me you were on a condom. You told me you had a condom.
No, me and my wife really don't argue like that or anything. We yeah.
Well, then it's not arguing because like my wife will bring up something and it's just her way of teasing me. She'll be like, you did so and so.
Wow. I don't know. I don't have anything like that comes to mind. Lots of ex-girlfriends that still remember stupid shit I did, and we'll bring it up.
Has your wife ever met your ex-girlfriends?
Here's the deal. My ex-girlfriend's mother is still on my Facebook page, and she loves me. And she's still, even though she's 74 years old, she's still very attractive at 74 years old. And she's always like, not flirting, but, putting these things out about how much she loved me. And my wife thinks, like, I don't think I've ever told her, that's Melissa's mother. Because she knows the name Melissa, the girlfriend I had right before I met her. And she doesn't like her.
Is that Sweet Melissa?
Yeah. But anyway,
I think the Allman Brothers wrote a song about her.
Yeah, that's what. Believe me, this is the thing. Let's get off of that, okay? So
Okay.
my
So,
wife goes,
Ron, has Laura ever met? No, actually, you and Laura started dating when you were like 12 years old. So I don't think she ever got a chance to meet an ex-girlfriend because you never didn't have one.
right.
No, she knew like one or two of my exes, I think.
But you have an open relationship, so you have exes even while you've been married, right?
Yeah, it's not quite like that, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how it works with these whole. Wait, what? Before you go, I would like to formally ask the Mind Dog again to consider. Yeah, I'll be on. I don't remember declining. If I declined, it was because I was hallucinating or something. I would never decline.
You probably declined out of reflex. You probably said because that answer he gave, what you said, that's you. That is classic you.
I would recline, not decline.
So
we don't
have a back.
Multiply. Now, Robin Harris. Speaking of history of comedy, a lot of people don't know Robin. And Robin Harris, to me, was as significant as Bill Hicks to that era in the '90s. A lot of people forgot about Robin Harris. He was a fucking killer.
He was hilarious, and I think that's the one thing you wonder if he had lived, if he had still had that. I think because he died, I think he was good then. I thought it was funny, but I think because he died, it escalated. He's like, well, what could he have become? Because for all we know, that could have been his peak, and if he had lived like another 2 weeks, we would have seen a decline of Robin Harris.
Was that
we don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's a good strategic move then. When you know you're out of material, just die.
Yeah. I'm just saying, even if you don't know you're out of material, because we don't. Look, Muhammad Ali was losing his softball, losing his punch, but he didn't retire. Willie Mays didn't know. A lot of people don't know when to retire. Retirement finds them, and people start talking to rumors. He should have quit three bouts ago. He should have stopped 4 specials ago. But they still say, well, yeah, but he was one of the greats.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about Willie Mays because he was with the Mets. He only had 13 home runs his final year, but he did get to go to the World Series and is part of the iconic memories from that World Series that the Mets lost to the Oakland A's. Willie arguing with the umpire about a call at home, which Willie was right. The guy was safe. I think it was Harrelson, but that picture is in my mind. Willie on his knees saying, come on. I don't think Willie didn't know when to go. I think he went out at exactly the right time. Maybe it would have been better if they would have won the World Series. Would have even better time to leave. But I think he was pretty good. Ali, yeah, Ali started fighting like club fighters, right? He's, giving credibility to people to fight the great Muhammad Ali, who weren't really worthy. I don't know. He was still looking back, my Facebook is filled with feeds of classic Ali fights. Fucking incredible stuff. The rope-a-dope stuff. I mean, the Ken Norton fight still to this day boggles my mind. Ken Norton, in the prime of his career, broke Muhammad Ali's jaw in the first round, and it went 15 rounds. Broke his jaw in the first round. Broken jaw is hard enough to experience, but getting hit by a heavyweight fighter in that broken jaw for 15 rounds, you got to be superhuman. I can't wrap my head around how he survived that and got through it, man.
That kind of reminds me of the time I was going down on a woman and I sprang my tongue during the first couple of seconds, but I finished. I brought her to complete. Brought her like a TKO. She was knocked out by the time I was done, and I did it with the sprang tongue. So I'm just saying that talent.
I'm sorry, I applaud your perseverance in that, but I don't think it compares.
Have you ever sprang the tongue while you were in that situation?
I never sprained a tongue. Period. I didn't even know you could sprain a tongue.
It's a muscle. You can spring a muscle. Okay.
Wow.
Just like you can fracture a penis.
I never.
Slaptail can tell you. Slaptail will tell you. You can spring the muscle.
It does get tired. It does get tired.
No, it definitely gets tired. I've experienced that tongue fatigue.
Tongue fatigue. Now we're getting technical terms.
There are some women who just they try not to come. And you would never see that with a guy. Oh, well, maybe you would, but never in my case. Try not to come. Try not to make me come. It's like, come on. Yeah, I'm working here for you. Cooperate and give up the resistance. Try to come.
I used to be involved in, I used to date women that had this thing about competitive sex. It's like, no, you come first. It's like, no, you come first. No, it's like, it was very competitive. I've been in those situations.
What were the name Chicken and Egg? That's a terrible, retarded joke. I'm sorry. I deserve to just be shot for that.
And for other things, but
what other
who
things?
am I?
What
Who
other
am
things?
I?
Give me an example. Is it my breath? Because
No,
I have been brushing my
nobody should
teeth
ever
like
be
4
shot
times
for
a
their
day, 5
breath.
times a day.
No, I would no, because your foot odor is way worse than your breath. So I would never shoot you. Not to say that.
I can't even remember the earlier Dr. Scholl's reference that was on the program this morning.
Muscle Shoals had the
Muscle
Swampers.
Shoals, that's right. There you go. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, no, I don't know. I got like I got fear of halitosis. I got halitosophobia. So I'm brushing my teeth like crazy. Like every time I get up, I'm like, I gotta brush my teeth. I think I got bad breath. It's happening. But I think because I've been around so many people my age that do start to fucking reek as they get older, I don't want to become one of those guys sitting in a chair where you could smell his breath from 3 feet away or 5 feet away. Bad enough that I've become the sad representation of boomerism that I am.
Well, a lot of comics could learn from that too, because some comics you talk to, because they're smoking weed and then they're drinking beer and their breath is fucking atrocious when they try to talk to you.
Yeah, I went to the bank the other day knowing I rode the whole way to the bank smoking a pipe in the car, and I knew I fucking reeked in there. And as soon as I walked up to the teller, she just like, and I could see like,
were her eyes immediately red?
she had judgment all over her. She was like, "Oh, this is a fucking pothead. No wonder he fucking can't write out his fucking deposit slip."
This old fucking boomer pothead. Here we fucking go.
And it feels like I don't know if this ever happened to you, but in high school, we used to go into the woods to get high, and then I'd come into homeroom and burp up a big fucking pot of smoke. That's what it felt like. Like the teacher's looking at me like, you waste.
Did she sniff you? They go, "Are you a fucking Neil Young fan?"
She didn't even have to sniff. She probably just went.
Like Daily High Club
and Young.
Daily High Club. I mean,
hourly
High Club.
Well, I'm sure, like New York, probably in New York City smells like weed everywhere. Philly smells like weed everywhere ever since they said, it's legal in the city. It's like everywhere you go.
DC. The first time when they first legalized pot, I was walking around this and I just could smell it every fucking where. And my concern was that because I'm not much of a, like I said, I'm not a smoker because I don't want to smell like a smoker. And that's the only reason why I don't. That's it. I don't like being police and I'll get pulled over in a heartbeat, and I don't like it when I get pulled over. They smell pot on me and they go like, "Have you been smoking?" "No, sir. I was walking through DC."
Well, I used to carry around legal CBD pre-rolls just in case somebody cop harassed me before it was legal. I could just say, "No, I'm smoking, but it's CBD stuff and it's cool." But what's odd about this is Puspatuk Nation, which is like the Disney World of weed. You get out and it's like neon lights and cannabis stuff going everywhere. Yeah, instead of Mickey Mouse, it's like whatever dopey pre-roll or whatever. It's just,
no, come on over, get some weed, kids.
Yeah,
I got some weed.
it is. I mean, you're pulling into a weed amusement park or theme park. That's what it's like, and it doesn't smell like weed down there. But in New York City,
that's hard to find this joint.
I ought to introduce this as a marketing ploy for them. I'm due to go down there. I should say, you know what? I could get you some mascots like, I don't know. I got to come up with some clever names.
Brought you the clip.
Yeah. Your address should be 420
Billy Blunt.
Hoostatuck Lane.
This is Billy Blunt.
420 is coming up. Right? 420 is like a week away, right? Or 10 days, 11 days away. And all these places are now having these special 420 events, these legalized things here. You know what? I don't know. I hate to see it become like I don't know, like a Christmas holiday, like, you know, 10 shopping days left till 420. That's what it's becoming. You know,
it will eventually, I think.
I think it already is. There was the 20 days of 420 that started a couple of weeks ago. It's like, oh,
come down and get your mattress on the 420 sale.
Yeah.
You know, the weirdest thing is since pot has been legal in, you know, between DC and Maryland, is it legal in Pennsylvania?
It's on its way. Medicinal? Yeah, we only have it for medicinal, but okay. It's on its way to becoming legal because the governor, Shapiro, he's been pushing for it because he, like, just 2 weeks ago, he put out from the official governor's page. He's like, we are not idiots. We know that Pennsylvanians are going to Maryland to buy weed. We all know this. We accept it. So it's like, it's just time to legalize it.
And
so they're
some Pennsylvanians are going to Jersey if they're closer to Jersey. They're going over there.
Yeah. He's just being honest. It's like, we all know everyone's going to different states.
A lot of dollars. Now they resisted it in Suffolk County, even though New York went legal several years ago. They resisted it in this county, but now they're popping up all over the place because you can't fight the revenue that it's creating. It is create. Here's the thing, though. A lot of it's all cash, right? I think a lot of these places are really kind of not paying the proper taxes on this thing. The revenue is not getting.
I don't know about New, but in Maryland, they're very, very they're getting their taxes.
It's tricky, but in Maryland and stuff, you can use credit cards. And stuff and pay for it.
It all has to be all cash. They have a cash machine right next to every register there.
And that's actually one of the reasons why there's a big push to legalize it because of it being a cash business. And these owners are saying, we want to be able to use banking like a regular fucking business.
Yeah.
If I had the money, I would have started a bank that catered to that audience, you know? Honestly.
That sounds like a setup to a heist movie. All right, the mob owns this bank that we're all.
I'm saying me because I'm ethical, you know, and I would actually create an insurance thing, something similar to FDIC. So I would, you know, do it, have business partners, and we would cater to it. I mean, we would take our
but the problem still is that it's illegal on a federal level. So that's what makes the banking impossible.
If the bank is, let's say, based in one of those offshore places,
on an island,
an island or a boat,
Long
3
Island.
miles, a boat 3 miles off of the coast of
Fire Island is 2 miles off the coast of Long Island, which is fine.
The trucks are always moving for legal reasons.
A mobile bank, you know, just like that. Yeah, it's just.
When COVID first started, it was still medicinal weed here, but my local dispensary, which I was basically, you call up a nurse practitioner and they give you a prescription over the phone and they charge you $180 for the Zoom call where you just say, yeah, I got a headache. Okay, we'll prescribe it. And then you got your card, but they would deliver. And during COVID, and this was like, to me, I was like, imagine going back to explain this because I was on unemployment at the time too. So here's the deal: the government was paying me to stay home and order weed delivered to my house. And it was like, imagine going back to my 15-year-old self and explaining, when you turn 60,
Yep.
you can sit at home. The government will pay for weed to be delivered to your house. It'll be like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah. Well, it's more people are smoking. Weed now actually has surpassed alcohol in daily usage, so that's out there. And I think people just like it because it's not alcohol. You don't get the fucking nasty ass hangover. And most of the time when you're with potheads, you don't have to deal with dickheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we have, and also if you have pain issues, it also helps more with pain than alcohol does. Especially when you're older and
depends on the pain. Like a toothache, if you got a toothache, there's nothing latched up or
there's I think Chicago. I think it was a hospital in Chicago or something that has been experimenting with was it cannabinoids or whatever they call them, and like just extracting that and using that for pain management instead of giving people pills. Because the weed is super strong and you don't have the fucking side effects. Like
I want some of that pharmaceutical weed pill.
Yeah, it's funny. Cannabinoids sounds like a cartoon. You like the Herculoids?
Yeah.
Cannabinoids. Cannabinoids. Yeah.
But I mean, I like hearing that because I'd rather see especially if you could treat people for like pain after a surgery or something where they don't have to get on a fucking oxycodone or some shit like that.
Yeah. I'm wondering what the normal people are. They lost? Are they feeling like they've lost their purpose in life? Because they went 50 years. The National Organization for Marijuana Reform was normal.
When you said normal, I forgot. I thought you was NO. I forgot that you were.
Yeah. Remember there was a magazine, High Times. It was like fucking Playboy to my 12-year-old self. The centerfold would be just like a big bud. But the normal organization started then, and these people dedicated their lives. Now that it's almost everywhere, it's not in all 50 states, but they must start to feel like we're gonna have to lay people off here. We got nothing to do. What do you do with your life once the weird of your life is achieved?
The weird thing I will say about though, like buying weed legally, is if you go to a dispensary and it's not in the greatest of neighborhoods. And it feels like it. I don't know, when you're at a dispensary like that and seeing like the decay of the neighborhood all around, it's a weird feeling because it's like, well, this was like illegal 10 years ago, and fucking people were put in jail and shit over this, and we're here
was
like
a glory hole just 10 years ago.
Yeah, and it's like now I'm going into a place that's in kind of a rundown neighborhood. When you walk in, it looks like an Apple store, and everyone's like, "Hey man, you want to buy some weed?"
It kind of freaks me because if I go, I'm not going. I'm a
half the neighborhood can't work there because they got a record. I'm selling weed.
And we got a president who's a felon, so do the math.
Yeah.
But the Poospatuck is different than like Strange Stars, which I used to go to, which is like right on Broadway in Amityville there, or Farmingdale. But you would go in there and you would see all these guys in suits and stuff, like executive. This is weird. Like on their lunch break, the same people would fire somebody for getting stoned on their lunch break, and now all these executives are online with you, and it just feels like, wow, this is kind of
it would be great when you went to the Poospatuck to buy weed. They made you sit through like a 5-minute video of what the whites did to the Native Americans. Well, every time you have to sit through it.
They would do that, except there are no Native Americans there.
No, well, you know what's going to happen, Matt? If they buy into your branding of making it like the Disneyland, they're going to have to it's a small world, and that's where they're going to reenact all of the Trail of Tears.
I'm meaning to take a video when I go down there. You would not believe the feeling of I just arrived in Weed World. It's just so fucking theme park like. It's like, hey,
how long is it? Okay, text me the address. I want to see how far it is from my house because I want to experience this. I want to drive up there and.
Why isn't? When are we going to get a Weedland amusement park?
I think that's what this is.
I
really do, and that's
rides.
Why I printed up my
No,
posters. I gotta
Ron,
bring them down
there are no rides. You just hit and you sit in a chair.
What?
Right.
Oh, wait, you know what?
I want to say they have no rides, but they have things that look like rides.
You know, Ron, that could be a stand-up bit. You know, just amusement park for weed smokers.
You sit in the chair.
You sit in the chair. Oh,
you put a quarter in it.
Oh, fuck.
And nothing happens. But
and then you go to the haunted house and just people going.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring my posters down. I've been putting up the posters for Puff and Paint and stuff like that in supermarkets and stuff around. I haven't got one fucking phone call from him. But next time I go to Weed World down in Mastic, Long Island,
take some flyers.
I'm gonna have to bring all these posters and put them up. What is this?
Why are we doing this right here?
His name is Stu Turnt Tony.
Oh, that's nice. What? It got like a garden hose full of pumped in like by vacuum. Oh, what is this? Now he's gonna throw balls at the dude. Oh, that's not cool. First of all, you got them all stoned before you do that. That's fucked up. That's like a Cheech and Chong thing.
Yeah, he's got videos of where he puts his grandmother in that, and he's done one where he's got in like one of those inflatable balls. He got in there, and they smoked him out.
Yeah. Andy Corzin.
I would like to try that though.
Doris,
the helmet or the ball.
I think both. I think both would be fun.
The Doris Klumpus from Seinfeld, the marble rye lady, when I had her on, and I was stoned because I had taken when I first got the 1,000 milligram gummies. She said, I confessed to her that I wasn't prepared for the interview because I didn't think it was going to hit me, and I took 2 of them. She said, "Are you stoned right now?" But she 86 years old lady saying this. And then we got into a discussion about it. And she said, my husband, he gets me the gummies. I don't really like them because I never know how much and this is 86 years. It's like talking to your grandmother about getting stoned. And she said, yeah, I prefer to smoke it. I like to have a good. It's so weird. I know I'm almost her age now, but for me, somebody that old, 86 years old, talking about lighting up a doobie. It feels surreal to me, and just having that conversation with her. But the way she said, "Are you stoned right now?" Like, yes, very stoned.
It's funny. DeWay has told me because he currently lives in Denver for another day, but he said it's weird when you're out there because it's legal everywhere, and like people are just they just do it anywhere.
So Mile High just takes on a totally different.
Yeah, and he said he's still, because he's originally from Philly, he's so used to, like, you find a joint, or if you're going to roll a joint, you roll it someplace, then you go hide away somewhere and smoke it. And he's like, these people just don't understand because they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, I'll roll a joint, it's like, all right, now we got to hide someplace.
So he's like a squirrel with a nut. It's like, okay, I got the nut, now I got to go off to my corner and
But we're from the Northeast, so we're used to that. That's like common practice.
Absolutely. One of the biggest thrills of my life was when Carl came to town and we went to a dispensary in New York City and bought some pre-rolls. And I was telling the guy, like, I would never smoke before. I want to try it, like playing it up, playing dumb. And he gave me like encrusted, infused, really strong moon rocks. And then I went out and there were 2 cops standing there, and I smoked the joint standing between 2 cops on the street in New York City. And it felt a little at first like, this feels weird, But by the time I got to the end of it, I didn't. I was all loosened up.
But you would think, I'm again, because I used to go to concerts where it was like pot was still illegal, but if you went to the concert, they were openly passing joints. You know, you were smoking, you were swapping to other people you've never seen before and never seen again.
Yeah.
No, they're just like.
Yeah, I think most people just don't even care anymore. I think the biggest complaint you hear now, I don't know if you've heard this, but people complain that the smell of pot is everywhere, and not everybody wants to smell weed. And
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's somewhat fair to say that because
a week and a half ago in New York City, I said we were walking towards the garage where the car was parked. I said to my wife, "Is it just me, or does it smell like really good weed everywhere around here?" And she said, "It's disgusting." Like, not to me.
If I could get Geddy Lee on the show, because one of the things because I saw them in concert years ago, Rush. And
so wait, is he dying or something?
No, but I'm saying during the show, during the concert, we're smoking weed and passing it around, and Geddy Lee asked us to put the joints out. You know, he was like, "No, I don't want y'all smoking." Was that Cheap Trick? No, it wasn't Cheap Trick. I think it was Rush, and they asked us to put the joints out. You know, I don't smoke, blah blah blah, and the audience was like turned on him, like bullshit. You know, they just audience turned on him.
Roger Daltrey had people thrown out for smoking weed in the front of a concert recently, last couple of years or so, and there was a major backlash. This is the guy. Hey, you smoking Mother Nature was part of
right? Yeah.
But he doesn't like it in the concerts now. But back in the day, it used to be much worse. I mean,
yeah. You could barely see the stage. He's like, I didn't know they had a fog machine. No, that's just pop.
Yeah. But it's just kind of hypocritical for guys who spent their whole life preaching the culture of weed. Now all of a sudden,
well, that's why I would ask them. That's what I want to know. It's like, were you just opposed to it because you were on the stage? It's like when I played in the band, I did not drink or smoke or do anything. You know, I always performed sober. Even rehearsals and performances, I was always sober. I was like a professional. You know, it was after the show that I got stoned.
Wow. I used to play with a 13-piece band, and when we took a break, everybody had their own joint already rolled. We go out and stand in a circle, 13 people passing each other's joints around. What the fuck?
Yeah, and I think it's really ridiculous too that states, tell people driving high is the same as driving drunk. It is.
No, because driving high is 2 miles an hour. Driving drunk is 202.
I think there haven't been enough conclusive studies on this, but I think that if you smoke the right weed, it can actually improve your driving. I actually believe that to my core.
And it's also, I think you would agree, Matt, that it's also a mindset as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
I know. I very seldom smoked dope and drove. Very, very, very seldom. But I do know that a lot of my friends were ultra paranoid when they were smoking, and so I would think that if you're paranoid and driving, that you're the speed limit's 35. I'm going to do 12. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say, "Oh, there's a car coming. Well, it's a block away. I'm gonna slow down now."
Years ago, we were at it took the kids to this car show or something in Harrisburg, and it's a big event. It's at the Farm Show Center, and they sell cars and display cars, but the state police were there, and they had this DUI driving simulator, and so you would get in it, and it's like a video game, but then it you'll be driving, then all of a sudden the wheel goes like this, or the wheel goes, and the cop got mad at me because I was doing well in it. It was perfect. Then it's well, I let off the gas, hit the brake, and come around like this. And it's you can't do that. It's whoa, you're gonna throw this at me.
He defeated the algorithm.
Yeah, he was pissed, but I don't think that gives you a clear representation because, like, I've had drinks before and been behind a wheel, and I've never gone like, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah. I definitely would love to question that bus driver, though. Was he stoned or what? From the
On his
court case.
phone.
I mean, the guy was right in front of him, and he didn't even slow down. Like he didn't slow down until he hit the guy. And the kid
Yeah.
went flying 15 feet. No, but right in front of you. And here's the thing: my first reaction was it must have been a crowded bus, like a kid in the back, of the school bus making noise or something. And he got distracted. It was an empty bus. It was just him and the bus aide, the school bus aide on the bus, so he wasn't distracted by anything. Directly in front of him, just boom, just drove right into him. Like, were you stoned? Were you drunk? What the fuck? And here's the other part that got me on the video. As he hit the person, and the person went flying, and there are people on the street who came running to the aid of the victim. The guy in the bus didn't even get out of the bus, or neither did the aides. Like nobody, oh my God, to check on, are you all right? Nothing. Let's sit there and wait for the cops to come. Like, what the fuck, man? What? So
Yeah, even like when it comes to drinking and driving, that's not even really that equal too. Because once again, it kind of depends on the person.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't feel like it should just be like a blanket. Well, this person blew this, so that means they're legally drunk.
This person blew the officer, so he got off.
Yeah.
I was at a fair, like one of those local fairs. I was at a local fair, and they had this game set up where they had 2 seats and traffic lights, and the 2 people you're competing against, you have your foot on the accelerator, and when the light turned red, you had to hit the brake. And whoever hit the brake second got an electric shock in their ass.
Yeah.
And I was kicking everybody. And as long as I won, I got to sit in the chair. And so I kicked the first 6 people. I was just kicking everybody's ass. And so I was like, spam, spam. And I was laughing so hard when the 7th person came, because there was like a very large person. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to fry that little fat ass. And I just started imagining what they looked like jiggling from the shock. I was laughing too hard, and I didn't take my foot off the accelerator at all. I was laughing so hard I didn't even try to hit the brake, and she smoked my ass. Wow. It was one of those funny little machines. I like that. I wish I had one of those.
Shocked in the ass right now. Oh no, that's my hemorrhoid. That's just my hemorrhoids acting up. Tomorrow.
Speaking of hemorrhoids, Ron, I did watch the Cheetos thing.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
I told my wife, I said, it was the Jack Black stuff. But I really like Cheeto, the Cheeto thing. It was Chester. To me, if Chester was what made it good for me. But
yeah.
Jack Black was like, it's hyperbolic and all this, but Chester, just his reactions, like, dude, no. Whoa, no, that's nasty. Whoa.
Yeah, I thought that was a solid bit. I'm happy you got to see it.
Yes, I watched it. Because I said to my wife, I said, oh, my wife, because it's funny, I'll forget about something. Then all of a sudden I yell, oh, and my wife thinks there's something wrong. And she'll go, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I just remembered. I told Ron, I look at this thing, and I
just got a shock in my ass. That's what it was.
That just seemed like a weird way for GED to tell us that he's into pegging. Like, she's just behind me, just drilling me on it.
All right, I gotta.
That was a weird way. I thought that was like the best way. You know what I'm saying? I thought that's how everybody admitted it.
Yeah, I gotta go to a show. I gotta get out of here. I have my last show ever, and then I will die. Tomorrow we have Vince Wango, not a porn guy. Sounds like a porn guy.
And I was thinking, is that Wango, the Wango and Tango, that group?
Hey, is your gig today local? Is it on Long Island?
Yes, it's a VA. It's a VA that I've never played plugged before. I usually do strolling, going around to beds and playing by their bed. Today I'm setting up a full music thing. Now, a lot of people are using tracks. I used to do backing tracks. I hate that. It's a karaoke performance. What do I even? So I don't do that.
I don't like it because it takes away your ability to like if you stop to talk, because if you're doing little things like if somebody's singing along and says, "Oh, thank you," or whatever.
Has anyone ever yelled at you, like when you walked around and played, and you walk in their room and they're like, "Get the fuck out"?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've gotten to like because you ask them, "Would you like some music?" And I had, "No, get out of here with that crap! I'm trying to watch TV." They're crazy. I do a lot of work, psych homes and stuff like that, and so of course you get some abuse on those stuff. You got to be able to just laugh at that. But
maybe I should go retire my dancing career, go around as a male stripper again. Say, "Excuse me, ma'am, would you like a male stripper?"
I asked the guy who books it if he does comedy stuff, because that would be interesting to walk around comedy.
Comedy to one person at a time.
Yeah, in the bed.
That's like a show for me. Sometimes that would be like an open mic.
Right. They're laying in bed though, like dying, and you got to make. And I try to make them laugh, even though I'm doing music. But I mean, to do a 5-10 minute comedy bit for each person, and then walk to the next one.
I'd have to do crowd work. I'd have to walk in. Yeah.
Every setup leads to a potential failure because depending on which room you're in, you start to say, like, I was walking, so oh shit, they don't have any legs.
He does book it, which is what was surprising me, and he does longer shows, like hour shows that they do for the people in nursing homes and assisted living centers. It's just and I think a lot of comedians would never think of that as an opportunity. But listen, it might not always. They are good crowds when you do like the thing I'm going to do today in an auditorium, a plugged-in show. But no matter what, it's always good practice. So if somebody is working on bits and stuff, I can't think of a better way to go get paid more than you're going to get paid at a comedy club to do 40 minutes or something. It just seems like a great opportunity.
I would love to do comedy, like do a show at a rehab center.
Yeah,
like people that are in recovery.
Yeah, lots of young people in those places, those rehabilitation, they call them rehabilitation nursing homes, but they're 30, 40-year-olds in those places. Lots of them, whatever, work accidents and they're rehabbing. And they're filled with those people. And, that's where I get people wanting for music stuff. They're like asking for Nirvana and Pearl Jam. I'm like, look around. You're next to a 90-year-old person. What are they going to think when I start doing Smells Like Teen Spirit or something? But yeah, so I'm sure wherever anybody is, there are booking agents who are booking facilities like that, rehab facilities. And again,
it's funny. When you was talking about, if somebody asked me to play Teen Spirit, in my head, I started playing. I was just doing it, to see if I could still remember to play it. And I went dun 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 dun, and then I went to the guitar part from Godzilla.
It's pretty similar. The rhythm part of it, yeah.
As soon as I started to realize, I'm like, oh shit, wrong song. So I immediately went to Godzilla from Teen Spirit.
It would be interesting if you did that in a Japanese living.
When I hear that, I always wonder: did the guitarist in Boston finally push the lead singer over the edge to kill himself?
I'm sorry, Tom. I know he doesn't listen. Tom.
He was in the chat room the other day.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I've seen interviews with that guy in the past, the guitarist, and the way he talks about things is like you can clearly understand why someone would off themselves to get away from that guy.
Well, he is a certifiable genius, and most geniuses are also fucking crazy as shit and annoying as shit. So yeah.
Well, Brian May is. he was one of my idols growing up. He's a genius and he seems stable to me.
I don't know. You never really hung out with them.
That's what I said. Seems. I've never hung out with him.
Was Phil Spector a genius?
No. Phil Spector was in the right place at the right time. I think Phil Spector was the fucking most overrated producer ever. He was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time and had access to talented people. I think everything he ever did was overproduced nonsense. It
was called the wall of sound. It's supposed to if you have something called the wall of sound, it has to be overproduced.
It wasn't.
That's why it
wasn't called wall of sound until people said it just sounds like a fucking wall of sound. It didn't set out. It wasn't pre-wall of sound. I'm going to produce something.
He had the concept. I think he had like a piece of paper and went, "I like this."
The Ramones recorded an album with Phil Spector,
right. So
and Johnny Ramone always talked about he would always reference that album. He's like, "That's our worst album," and everyone hated fucking Phil Spector.
John Lennon too, and I think he pulled out guns in the recording sessions often, like it made people do so.
Yeah, well, Johnny said he would just make him play chords over and over again. He's like, that doesn't sound quite right. We need it again. He'd play it again, and he'd be like, it's still not right.
In history, no, it wasn't the wall of sound intentionally. It was the wall of sound after the fact where they said it's really become muddy when you just keep adding fucking instruments on top, and they're all playing the same fucking thing. Like there's no creativity in that. It's just like fill it up with just clutter. So no, I don't think Spector was a genius at all. I think he was a fucking idiot. Anyway, I do have to get out of here. I do have to go. All right.
Well, we are running over. So why don't you play a Phil Spector song? Play us out with some Phil Spector.
I'm sorry, that's not Phil Spector.
History shows again and again how nature points out
Kurt
the folly
Schwinter.
of man.
Yeah, Kurt
Schwinter.
Yeah.
Kurt Schwinter.
I'm looking for. This is a wall of sound for you. Tomorrow, Vince Wango, who's an author.
Is it Wango or Wanga?
Wanga. It's Wango Tango, Sweet Poon Tango, as Ted Nugent would say.
Tick tock, motherfucker.
What if I introduce him that way? Vince Wango Tango, Sweet Poon Tango. I don't think he'll appreciate it.
I know something, Ron. I think that if the 11th is really your last day, by 12:02 on that day, all of your sound bites are going to be gone and replaced with.
Not all, no.
Not all. Not all.
Not all. No, I think we'll hold on to most of them. I got to get some new commercials produced, though. I keep saying that, and I never do it. But that's anyway. Don't forget to turn on your radio. I got to go for a gig. See you. Bye.
Sending your parents a letter. Tell them you're a whore.
The opinions expressed on
and a lot of that comes. And a lot of that comes.
Finish inside me. The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it. Finish inside me.
Mannequin pussy. Mannequin pussy.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
What you wanna do, baby? It's on you, baby. Walk around now.
Fuck yeah.
Gotta walk around, man. Who the hell?
Fuck yeah. me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.